Hey, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Happy late Halloween. Well, as you watch this recording here on Grand Forks Best Source, it's already Saturday, November 2nd here at 7 o'clock p.m., but Central Daylight Time. But this episode was recorded this past Monday night, a few days before Halloween. And I'm your host with the most, Frankie Slauson, and welcome to the show. Welcome to Renegade Radio, Season 3, Episode number 16. And normally by now this would be the season finale episode, but we're gonna go until the end of November, so and then take a month off and come back on January 6th for season 4. But I think we got our first person coming in pretty soon.
Okay.
Hey,
Going outside.
you go outside then. Have fun. How's it going, John?
Yo,
Howdy.
good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Happy Halloween and boo and all the scary things and whatnot.
Yeah. What a weird day. I've been out. I mean, I mowed today when I
Oh,
got home.
oh, really?
We had almost a foot of snow on the ground last year today. And then remember
Yeah,
it all melted?
yeah, I remember that
And then we didn't have shit all the rest of the year.
because my folks were in Arizona last year for their anniversary and yeah, they escaped the snow. I remember.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm out mowing today. I'm glad I got it done. I'm like already 9 steps ahead than I have been in the last 10 years at this time. And the way the weather looks, I got another couple of weeks before deer hunting to be able to get some more shit done.
Well,
So yeah, I put it to bed for the winter now, and I put my boat to bed, and all the winter shit's just about ready to roll.
did you say a prayer to your lawnmower saying thank you for a good season and everything? And bless you
It
and
was a good season. Yeah, I didn't quite say a prayer to it. It's lucky I let it live sometimes, but
spray some holy beer just for good luck.
and I do take care of it.
Oh, I'm sure you
No,
do.
I got
I know you do. I know you do.
got my log splitter running today. It hasn't ran since deer hunting last year. I got to make sure it's ready for deer hunting this year.
Oh,
So yeah,
we
good
could do
day,
we could do
productive
a
day.
behind the scenes with John Roberts on him getting ready for hunting and everything. Have some really cool music in the background. So
Yeah, it's we could do. You should see our shack. I mean, our hunting land, our cabins are
yeah,
between Plummer and Brook. It's not a very far drive, and you can
I'm
drive right in there. You should
I'm
you
sure I
should bop out there when we're there.
yeah.
Just
Well, I was
check it
gonna
out.
say
Have a beer with us or something.
I was gonna say I have no idea where it's located, but I'm not gonna go there
Yeah,
without you being there.
it yeah, it's I'm guessing we're a little closer to Plummer than we are Brooks. But
Oh,
you know where the railroad tracks cross the highway between Plummer and Brooks,
yeah, I do.
right? Okay, we're the mile road to the south of the railroad tracks, closer to
Okay,
Brooks there.
okay.
And you turn east, and we go down you go down about a mile, and we're on the right side. We have 160-acre woods. There's a couple of little entrances in there, and you go in there, and we have a house, and we have a split level trailer house, and they both have decks on them, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Is it
Right in the
bef
middle of 160-acre woods,
is it before you go on the turn that goes to Terrebonne and all that stuff?
which coming
There's,
from Plummer.
well, like the way I'm thinking is like okay, I live obviously
Okay,
in Brooks, so
if you leave Brooks
okay,
and you're heading towards Plummer,
okay.
it's before the highway has the kink in the corner there and the railroad tracks go across. It's
Oh,
the
okay,
mile it's the
okay,
mile before that. It's a pretty big road. You can't
okay,
take a left if you're heading towards Plummer, but you can take
okay,
a right. Oh no, wait. Yeah, you can take a left. You can. But if
okay.
you take a right, it's a kind of a big road. We're just you look straight to the right when you're going by there, and you look down about a mile down, and you can see where our woods starts, and it's a really big woods.
Okay, I think I have an idea now where it's at because I know where that crossing is. That we're like Jigsaw or whatever crossing of the railroad tracks between the two.
Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Do you
because
know
I
where
go by
that?
there all the time.
Do you know where that guy is that's got that? He's got that deer farm. Tweet
No,
is his last name there, right off the highway. He's got some monster bucks. Monster. He that's
he
what he
has
does, you know.
he
He
has a deer farm,
sells doe urine and
so he has
yeah,
like deer that
yeah.
just hang
And
out and whatever. Okay, that's weird.
well, they're in a fence. And he
Oh,
breeds them and all of that stuff. But
oh,
look
probably
at that,
explains
Anthony's here.
probably explains why there's deer on there. Well, I haven't seen much
Howdy,
deer on the
guys.
road, but yeah, what's going on there,
Yeah.
Mad Dog? I know you're coming in, on your day. I think there's a game tonight. I'm guessing.
Yeah, there's a game. I could have went, but I just didn't feel like sitting out in the cold tonight.
Oh, it's playing right in Pittsburgh.
Who's playing?
Oh.
Who's playing?
Pittsburgh and New York Giants.
Who's Pittsburgh?
Yeah, the best team in the league, brother. I see
Hey,
your
look at
Minnesota boys got their butts kicked this weekend, eh?
Twice
we didn't
again.
play this weekend.
Last
Well,
weekend, you got your asses kicked.
Yeah, we did.
Thursday
Sunday,
we
Sunday. What do you
Thursday
mean
we
you didn't
lost.
play? Thursday.
We played
Sunday and
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday night. That's right.
I guess that's not
It's
a
funny,
weekend.
Mad Dog, because a friend of mine, Johnny Gibson, he's the announcer for the World of Outlaw sprint car deal, and we always bet. So I texted him today. I said, "Hey, we got a beer riding on tomorrow's Pittsburgh Penguins game in Minnesota Wild."
Oh, they're
And
horrible.
so whenever any Pittsburgh teams play the Minnesota teams, we always have a bet, a beer. And
Well, you'll
then
win that
I
because
see
we're horrible.
well, I see him twice a year, and so then we pay up on our bets. Last year we broke even, so it's a fun little deal because I think he's in like Florida right now or somewhere, but because they travel, that's all they do. The guy he doesn't have a house. He lives in a motorhome with his cat and his shit ton of guitars.
Wow, living the
Yeah.
good life, right? Play music to the
Well,
cats.
depends on if you want to call that the good life, I guess. Hey, there's Lance.
Lance is living the good life right
I
there.
am late. I had to put my costume on so you know who I am.
The hell's Bud?
Hey,
Is that what you sound? That's what you sound.
nice.
Hey, Bud. What's up, Bud?
I was going to dress like Jason tonight. I was going to have the coveralls on and stuff. I figured you might get mad at me.
Oh. That's right, because there's a copyright rule here on the show.
There's a copyright.
Yeah.
Is there copyright?
No, Jesus Christ, no. Why
What
would there be
about-
copyright here? Why would there be copyright here? I mean, I can show this all around, can I? I just bought this last week. So, on the 4K.
Which one is that?
The first one. They had it at Crooks and the Walmart over there, the 4K of it. And then I bought that. This was like $27, and this was like $10 right here. That's a Rob Zombie Halloween. They didn't have part two yet, but I'm gonna order them online though. I did have on Blu-ray once before, but they all now are on 4K now. From Scream Factory.
Did you ever see alongside with Rob's film? Did you ever see the 4-hour documentary on the making of?
No.
So
Oh.
his
I started-
documentaries, they're fantastic. They really are.
Yeah. In fact, I think it was just on one of the 900 channels that we get. And I remember thinking about it. I got to look into this more because when I passed through it, it started like 40 minutes earlier. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to have to check into this. I'm glad you said something about it.
Yeah,
But
it's
yeah, I really
pretty
would
cool.
like to see that.
I wonder. Oh yeah, it has on disc two here. It looks like it says Michael Lives: The Making of Halloween, a 4.5-hour documentary
That's
by
it.
Rob Zombie. That's on disc two.
I highly recommend that, especially if, I mean, just the whole behind the scenes, the whole thing is just, I think he did that a few times. He may have done it back with Devil's Rejects or something also. And I mean, it's just way interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I didn't. That's cool to know because I do like the. I still watch movies for the features and all that too. I mean, sometimes if there are features that I think are worth watching, and nothing beats a good documentary, man. I tell you, I love documentaries. There should be a lot more of them.
Hey, guys, can you see this?
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
What happened to
Sharon!
What happened to Ozzy? Jeez, it looks like he just like somebody's like punched him
Ozzy
in
don't
the
look
face.
too hot.
You should have seen. You should have seen when we dressed up like Johnny and Moira from Schitt's Creek.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I
That'd be
had
good.
I had fake mustaches for eyebrows.
Oh. Good old
friend of
Eugene
mine-
Levy.
Ah,
A friend of mine's wife went. She had white cream all over, and she had a name tag with Eileen on it.
God.
Can you figure that one out? Come on, Eileen. Come on, Eileen.
Wow, I'm glad we're not
Yeah,
live
she
yet.
won. She won the. She won the costume part.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, tonight, well, to let you guys know, we're gonna have two guests tonight. I'm hoping to make a little history because if both guests show up, then as of tonight, we will have had 60 guests for 2024 already. Yes, I'm keeping track.
Wow.
Why wouldn't I keep track? That's more than I've done. More than I've done back 10 years ago when I first met most of you guys. Well, other than Lance, because I've known Lance probably the longest out of everybody. Since he was one of the originals and he's eating candy now, getting all sugary.
well, you were all sugary last time, so I got
Oh,
these.
yeah, I haven't tried those. I was too
Ooh.
afraid to. I just like
What are they?
of Oreo and Coca-Cola.
Oh,
I don't know. That's kind of
creepy.
well. It's just I don't know the
Seems
taste of it.
intriguing.
I mean, if it was Oreo and milk, it might be good, but I don't know about Coca
I mean,
Cola.
are you regretting your decision or what?
Well, he hasn't said much, so they must be pretty good.
Not bad, huh? Lance
Yep.
likes a lot of gross things, though, probably. So it's okay.
Well,
no, you don't. No,
there's
I'm
a
sure
lot
you're better
that there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, I eat a lot of stuff.
But I'm saying you're more of a man of fine taste. I'm sure
Eat
you'd
a
rather
lot
have
of
the
stuff.
you'd rather
I
have
love the mask behind you.
you'd rather have
Lance.
shrimp a la jus or something.
I like those.
They're crazy.
I decided I should dig them out.
Are they original like your dad's?
Cool.
Of course not.
No,
Still cool.
because that thing has fallen apart. I believe the guy lives in Iowa, I think, who owns that now.
Oh,
The top one is made by Ken Hurtline, and they called it the Warlock many, many years ago. And so that's the number 2. And then the bottom one is a gift from a guy who calls himself R. Kelly. No.
Not the kid that peed on. You're not the guy that peed on somebody, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't think so. God, I hope not. But I haven't put that on, so
It was a It was a jellyfish sting. Damn it!
That's funny. That's
Hi,
funny.
Mama.
Hey, what's up, Mama T?
Ah,
How you
Mama,
doing?
Mama.
Happy Halloween, boo.
Well,
Nice
was I supposed to
costume.
dress up tonight? I had a costume. I couldn't remember if we were doing
Oh,
that.
I thought you had it on.
I
Yeah,
had a costume.
you're scaring people already.
Oh, I'm teasing Mama T.
Oh, I tell you. Oh, Jesus. Well, Mama T and I will be hanging out tomorrow in the early ass o'clock because I'm getting my car fixed tomorrow finally. So gotta bring it to Macintosh and have Macintosh people take over and repair it. It was a wheel bearing this whole time, so that's all it was. So
Mama T, I thought you were leaving Mac. When are you moving?
No, I'm
Yeah.
staying here. I've got till Thursday
ya?
to get out. And I had a place lined up to stay. I've got some place to store my stuff, and I thought I was staying somewhere, but it turned out yesterday that I can't stay there. Well, I mean, I can stay there like till Sunday or Monday, but
Yeah.
oh, so you're still leaving Macintosh? I thought you were staying.
no, I'm not leaving Macintosh.
Oh, so you are staying. You're saying
Yeah,
you
just
were.
not in the apartment. I have to move out of the apartment on Thursday.
Oh, see, you told me that. I thought, okay, maybe I read it wrong. Maybe I.
No, I got evicted, remember?
I know, but I thought you made peace. I thought everything was all good again. You know,
No, it was. It's not.
we make Tanya great again. You know?
I tried making peace, and then heard people coming up here during random. They're talking shit about me down there. So
Sure.
We're at the bar.
Yeah, it's all fucked up since Bob died. I kind of figured it'd be that way. I had no hope.
whatever.
That's
Little to no
terrible,
hope.
man.
I'm used to it.
But maybe this place will be better for you wherever you're going to be.
Like you don't want to.
That's terrible.
You
That
want to
sucks.
bring my name up at a table that I'm not invited to. Shows your obsession, I guess.
No, but what it is, I mean, you've been running the place for how many years now?
3.
And then they're just going to get up and say, hey, that's enough?
They take it away. They took it away from her right after literally after he died. You know,
Wow.
I don't know if they were ever going to give it back to her, but they should have. That's
Well,
what
at
she should be
first
getting paid.
No, at first they said that eventually I could probably work, and then I found out I couldn't work, and then I was told I could stay here as long as I wanted, and then I was told that I could move to the other apartment and because it's smaller and they needed the rent from this one, and then I was told I had to be evicted. So,
Well,
and in there I was
doesn't
told I
matter.
couldn't be in the bar anymore either. But that's a long story, and I don't want to get into it.
Let's just move on. You know, because it's like
Nah, that's
I've had a rough day. I'm
Mama T,
about to have a rough week. I've been
Mama
on
T,
my
I'm very
phone all
sorry,
day.
man.
Been on my phone all day trying to get this insurance license studying done, and it's not going very well.
Did you figure out if you still need your ID and all that stuff or whatnot, or what we mentioned about on the free show last time when before we interviewed Jeff Slate? You were talking about you still need to go to Brainerd or somewhere.
Oh yeah, fingerprinted. I need to get fingerprinted.
fingerprinted.
But yeah, I've got somebody that's going to drive me there to do that next
Okay.
Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
I'm sorry
And
all that happened to you, Mama T. I'm very sorry. That's a damn shame.
Well, I mean,
Well, the whole reason I did it was so that he'd have something to leave his kids, and I did my job, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you're not needed, so goodbye, right?
The kids took over.
It wasn't instant. It was 3 months.
Yeah, but
it was gradual.
It just shouldn't be that way. I mean, that's why I say, you had a better relationship with Bob than you did with his entire family. Even if you thought they liked you. Now we know how much they like you.
I talked to Robin. I sat and had a few drinks with Robin.
Yeah, but I don't trust her either much, I'm sorry to say.
Well, I'll be up in that area in 2 weeks, and I'm not going to swing into there then. I mean, we would last couple of years, we make an intentional drive. Usually that's Saturday afternoon when hunting time is down for a little bit. We usually make that little drive go to McIntosh for 1, maybe 2, and then get out of there. But I'm not going to do that now this year.
Yeah,
we won't even hit that direct.
Just come to Carol's instead. You'll be better off.
Yeah.
Or go somewhere else. I don't
know.
Yeah.
We'll run right by there and go to trail.
I heard Oakley does Oakley have a different cafe now too, or something? Or it used to be the Oakley Cafe.
I don't know. They need something because they're open whenever they want to be.
Yeah.
Seems like we're usually Plummer or Brooks.
Yeah.
We'll run to trail, maybe Gombrick or Gully, Oakley maybe once in a while, but otherwise once in a while McIntosh last couple of years, and Erskine very rarely. But otherwise, yeah, that whole area there.
Yeah.
Some of these names you just dishing out, it sounds like you really do live in the sticks.
Well,
what the hell is the town's name out there? Everything's a cliff, fall off, or riverfront, or
falls.
We have towns like Fertile.
Yeah.
Fertile and
hey, got a McIntosh? Yeah, I got a couple of them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Well, you want a McIntosh or a Golden Delicious?
Yeah. Fertile woman dies near climax. It was a headline in the paper.
Yeah. A woman dies near climax near McIntosh.
Yeah, while on her computer.
But it was because it's because she had a green bush.
Yeah.
No, it's because she probably had a McIntosh in her.
Yeah, maybe I know her.
Maybe she had an apple somewhere, McIntosh.
Yeah.
I know. We know quite a few people that live in Climax. It's funny. Some
I
sprint
am.
car drivers live in Climax.
Are they having
Yeah.
a good time? Are they always having a good time? That's where that strip bar should have been. It should have been at Shelley. It should
It
have been at
used to be.
Climax.
It used to be. Yeah, there used to be one there years ago, and there
Uh,
used to be one in Shelley.
yeah, the one, but they should have had it in Climax instead of
Oh
Shelley.
yeah.
It makes more sense,
Yeah.
you know. We'll make it Climax.
Yeah.
While Lance eats his Oreo Coca-Cola cookies, he's climaxing right now in his mouth.
Got the
I
munchies.
picked up.
Did you get that rib removed? Or
I had a good weekend. I picked up a couple of 18th century fencing.
I'm just waiting for him to. I'm just waiting for him to spin it all out on his camera and everything. It's
You
like,
see that?
How many of those do you have?
I never had. I have fencing swords, but not from the 1800s. This thing is like primitive, man.
What is that handle made out of?
It's made out of looks like deer ass and buffalo nuts. It's made out of cork, and it's wrapped in.
That's what I thought.
Smells like it.
wow. Yeah,
As soon as Lance said that, I go, I bet
If you
it's
could look
deer
at it,
ass
got
and
the
buffalo
family.
nuts.
The guy that owned it got his family crest on both of them, and his name was CK, whoever that is. But it's pretty cool, man. I got these ones, and I got a couple some old swords from the Civil War type. Like they're so
Wow.
rusty. They were like forgot about in a basement somewhere. And I just got to redo the handles on them. I got to take it all apart. I took one apart already. I got one apart ready to go. I'm gonna soak this in apple cider vinegar and then start sanding away on it. Wait till I show you when I'm done with it. I rescued a couple of these old World War II saber swords. Got the hand guards on them, you know.
Mhm.
This one's been through hell because the blade is just. This one been through battle, man. The blade's just chopped up. Somebody chopped the hell out. And the guy found them in the basement at a bot. He goes, "Give me $10 for all four of them." I'm like, "Well, huh?" He thought he just had a pair of swords that were. Well, I took the sword apart and I didn't break the nut off it or welds on it. So no, there ain't no welds on it, but it's a wooden pin that goes through the handle. You got to tap them out gently because if they fall out, the sword's no good no more. So I'm trying to look where I said I wanted to show you, but that's the handle. Look how bad that thing is. It's just solid rust.
You said that was $4 that you spent on.
I spent close to $10. $2 for
Okay.
each of the swords.
Yeah.
$2. I bought like 10 pair.
Okay.
I bought so many swords, it's unbelievable. But the guy thought he had a bunch of scrap there, but this is very, very good craftsmanship. And when I'm done with it, I'm going to bring it back to life. I did that to a couple of them already.
Oh,
I actually got
Mm.
Conan's sword from his prop sword, and I got the letter of authenticity. You ought to see that sucker. It's 4 foot
That's
high.
cool.
It weighs about 40 pounds. I don't know how he swung that in the movie. I just don't know how. I'm going to show you how big this sucker is. I mean, it's
That's what she said.
yeah.
That's
There
the
it is.
same thing
It's
the
right in the
handle's
middle
made
there.
out of.
It covers my whole wall. I mean, yeah, that's the
Wow.
original one right there.
Nice.
But anyways, I got the letter of authenticity with it, and I bid on that for. I got a little too crazy. My wife probably still ain't talking to me about that. Still there?
Oh yeah, we're here.
All right, but
That's all right. Hey, you have a right to buy what you want. You know, I mean,
hey, I don't buy too much stuff for myself. I don't drink no more.
The guy
I
that's
like
never
that
been married.
advice. You have the right
Yeah.
to buy whatever you
Well,
want.
fine. Don't buy what you want.
Yeah.
Then buy what.
Here,
buy
let me
what
get
you-
my
say it,
wife
bro.
in, and you can tell her that.
I will. I will tell her that.
You go, boy. You go, dude.
You can
Yeah.
tell, hey Lance, you can tell he ain't married, huh?
I'm as happy as I've ever been. You know, I'm everybody's
Hey.
No,
best friend.
I don't doubt your word. You're happy.
I'm everybody's best friend. Nobody wants to fuck me, so it's like, oh, what the
Hey,
hell,
listen
you
to
know?
me. I don't doubt you're not happy. I'm just saying that you can tell you don't have a wife. Because you just said that out loud near my wife,
Yeah.
you'd have got a backhand in the mouth.
I'm the unfuckable friend you never thought you ever have. You know, right here. Right here.
Hey, that's
Nobody
why
wants
God
it.
gave you this hand. See, this one never gets mad when that one got a bear in it. You never got to kiss it goodnight.
Well,
Hey, just wash it every once in a while and you're okay.
And I don't know why I'm being so vulgar in the language, but I'm just saying, it's like the story of my life.
I
Everybody
think you
wants to
want
be
to
my
get
friend.
laid. That's all. And you're my
Oh,
pooper
absolutely,
shut.
absolutely. I'm horny.
Well,
It's
that's what I
it's
said. Go
spooky
whack
season.
one
Yeah,
off, man. There's nothing better than your hand.
Yeah, but
that's right. That's
I
right.
do it so good that that tomorrow morning his hand will be in the kitchen making him a sandwich.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, this was great, hand. Thank you for last night. It's so wonderful.
Then you better stay away from these Oreos because there's a lot of stuff that goes on when you eat them. That's because it's got popping candy.
Oh my goodness.
I can mill you. I can mill you a pocket pussy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't think I'd eat at any of your houses if I was invited over for supper. The way you guys are talking.
Oh, we scare everybody. It's tis a season to scare everybody, right? Yeah.
Are we? Is anybody? Can anybody see this yet?
Well, I'm getting the live ready while we're joking
I was
around.
going to say, because if they heard that, they might not watch us anymore.
I think they might have heard part of it because we are technically live. I'm just getting it all. I'm getting the rest of it ready.
Where's Screaming Sam at?
He said he might not be in tonight. He's not feeling good.
Oh, I didn't talk to him this weekend.
Yeah. Well,
I think he ain't coming
in
tonight because I think he's mad at me. I don't know.
Oh, no. Why would he be mad at you? He pissed off again? No, I'm happy that we're all here. I mean, I think more are going to join here soon here. This is episode number 16 of season 3, and normally by now we would be done. This would be the season finale episode, as I was telling people before you guys all came in. But we're gonna go until the end of November, so we got 4 more episodes to go. So we'll make it to 20 anyway. And as far as when we decide to come back for season 4, well, first things it'll be Monday, January 6th is what I figure will be the best time for us to come back. It'll be right after the holidays, so everybody has their 2 weeks or whatever, or their month that they're getting off for the whole holiday season. And then we're gonna start using StreamYard starting next season, because I figure StreamYard, as I mentioned last week, seems to be a lot better. I mean, I like Zoom, but there's so much you can do on Zoom. So we're gonna start using StreamYard, and I'll obviously still pay for it and everything, but
I'll be right back.
It should be exciting. So let me get this ready. Talk amongst yourselves here real quick.
If I dip out, that means I ran to the little boys' room. I just got done eating split pea soup, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, hey, I mean, thanks for telling us that.
I was telling Sean, you guys, I was telling Sean up here, we're or Frankie, I was out. I actually mowed today. This is shit. Last year today we had a foot of snow on the ground. I mean, it's crazy. I'm blowing leaves and mowing, and we're so far ahead for the first time in years is weird. And we got, the way it looks, another week or so, we might get a little rain. But now, I mean, I got log splitters going, all my snow removal shit's ready, and now getting ready for deer hunting, and it's still, you could be in shorts. It's weird. It's weird.
It was 75 really nice up here today. We
probably hit close to 70, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. 54.
I mean, we have roses. Somebody posted on Facebook, we have dandelions blooming still. And I'm like, look at this. You should see the roses I still have in my rose gardens. I got new ones blooming. I got big ones. It's crazy. It's almost November. It's really weird. But I'm going to take it. I don't mind it.
You ain't telling me there ain't no global warming going on, man. That's crazy, because around here, we usually have like just freezing rain and rain all the time. It's been sunny and beautiful. We're supposed to be in the 70s, but you know all what? Until Saturday.
3 years ago, we already had 3 feet of snow on the ground. It cycles. It's called the history of the earth. I mean, up here, you can't tell me global warming up here, because I get up there some mornings here with a wind chill. It's 100 degrees below zero with a wind chill. It's happened. 60 degrees, 60 below wind chill isn't that uncommon.
Huh.
There's been times it's been 100 below. My wife's arguing with me down in the.
I would believe me. I can't stand it anymore. I'm ready to move south. I've had enough of winter. I worked outside all my life. I'm done with it. I'm finished. When I get up and I look out the window and I see snow, I'm like, I think I'll go back to bed.
Yeah. We want to go to Italy. We want to get a place in Italy for the winters.
Oh, there you go.
My wife's got dual citizenship in Europe, so that would help a lot. And we've been there enough, and we, it's not that much different. Housing there is really not bad at all. But the only difference is you could fly, spend 4 hours to fly to Arizona or Florida or whatever, or spend 9 hours to fly to Italy. That's the only difference. And once you get there, it's pretty damn nice.
Italy, it's cool. I got a picture today from a friend of mine who's in Rome right now. And I was in Rome about a couple of years ago. And I was in this restaurant that they love the Steelers. They had a big Steeler banner, and they tell you to sign it. So I put my name right in the middle of Pittsburgh Steelers, like big, thick letters so people could see it, My buddy's up here tonight. He walked into that restaurant to eat, and he was one. That's the only place that's having the Steeler game on. And he's looking at the poster, and he goes, "Shit!" And he sent me a video of it. He goes, "Is this you, Lutz?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm everywhere, motherfucker." It was me signing it like 4 years ago. I'm gonna send you guys it on Renegade Radio when we get off.
Other side of the world. Yeah,
he's
cool.
blown it up. He goes, "Look at this shit." He goes, "I'm in Rome," and he gave me the name. It's Giovanni's Restaurant. So he hits the button and it gets real close. And says Tony Lutz, and it goes right back out. I'm like, that son of a. I remember doing that now, and I forgot all about it. But here's a friend of mine in Rome, fucking seeing something that I signed fucking 4 years ago.
Jeez.
In the same restaurant. What's the odds of them going in even into that restaurant? So I remember it's just a little place in the town that the family owns. I wonder if I can get off and do it right now. Yeah, I can send it here. I'm going to send it to Renegade Radio. Right, it is awesome.
Go right ahead. I just sent everybody the link to the show, so go on, share the link around the camp.
Okay, let me see if I can do it.
You didn't send it to me.
Oh.
Once again, it's like I beg and I beg.
I don't remember you ever begging at all. Okay.
Oh, well, I thought about begging.
Oh, well, you don't have to. That's okay.
It's the Oreo.
Okay,
man.
it should have been sent.
I'll send it to you. That's all.
Hey,
What's going on there?
Hey,
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as I mentioned already, via the earlier on, but that was a good interview you guys did. I mean, I was very impressed.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Other
By both
interview?
of you. Huh?
Oh yeah,
I didn't watch the other interview. I just watched for Ken. That's all I cared about.
You got to watch the other one too. I mean,
Yeah,
have
but I watched for Ken.
Yeah, Keys was good.
I wanted to see what Ken was going to be like to be an interviewer, since you got to interview him first. I want to see how good of a job you're going to do, and just see, I just wanted to see. I was curious, and you did a great job.
We didn't have as many glitches like Keys Williams started dropping off towards the. Well, he dropped off like right at the beginning, and then a couple times at the end of the interview, and then finally.
Yeah, that had to be his internet.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't on our end this time, and
Well,
the whole show went smooth. Besides that, I mean, no.
It's always nice when the scrubs aren't on your end.
I know, right? My words, trying to figure out what to say. I had a question.
Lance,
I asked you something, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, you're real nice.
Hey, are we going to be done by 8:20?
What time is
My
that?
time?
7:20. Well, it depends on. I mean, because Robbie V will be on at 7.
I hate to tell you guys, I'll be busting out early. I don't miss the kickoff for nobody.
I'm hoping that if Jay shows up at 6 o'clock, like he's supposed to,
That didn't work.
It'll go until. Well, hold on here. Maybe I gotta.
What a terrible link.
I hope we're not still on
I'm telling you, the Steeler game kickoff is 8:20, and I don't miss the kickoff.
He's talking about 8 his time because he's Eastern.
Oh, so you're
You
talking
know, when
7.
you're from a town with the best
Yeah.
football team, you gotta
I forgot they're on
watch
that.
the kickoff.
Yeah, they're on that other time. No, I hear you. Well, we played Thursday night last week.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right,
who does
Hey,
Pittsburgh have tonight? Who do you
We're
guys have tonight?
playing the New York Giants in Pittsburgh.
Try to get their wins.
Ooh.
Hey, listen to me. We in the last 3 weeks we've been Thursday night, Sunday night,
There it
Monday
is.
night.
Okay, perfect.
That's how important we are to this NFL, buddy. It wasn't your
man.
Kansas City
Well,
and
that's what it
Slater
is.
Taylor Swifty. It wasn't the Swifties and the KCers. It was the Steelers.
They stole
And
it
if we
again,
win
so-
tonight, it'll be our 100th game winning on national TV.
Oh.
Is it true? Do you guys have Russell Wilson?
Yeah, he's our starting quarterback. And we got Justin Fields. From
I had no
Chicago.
idea that he left.
Yeah, we got him. Last week he come in and saved our ass. He won the game for us. We played the Jets last week. He come in and he scored 33 points.
Well, it was the Jets.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
did I
right.
say that out loud?
And the Giants ain't that good either. Well, but you don't understand the Steelers. We play down to our team. We don't play up to them. We can beat
Hey,
Kansas
be
City.
a Minnesota Vikings fan. Are you kidding me?
Hey,
We could
listen
have
to
a
me.
28-0 lead at halftime, and it's like, here's the bad part: it ain't done. It usually goes down to the last freaking play with the Vikes, no matter what.
Well, with
And
us,
then
we can play the
Natural
best.
happens
defeat
like
from the
Thursday
jaws
night.
of victory.
You see that face mask in the end zone? He dang near tore our quarterback's head off. The refs, I didn't see it.
Yeah, that was bad.
So,
Hey, like with us, though, we could be playing the Kansas City Chiefs and look like $1 million. Then we turn out to play the LA Raiders and we look like Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad we play down to our opponents.
Yeah.
But how about the
that
Cleveland
Bears?
Browns beating the Baltimore Ravens this weekend? Yes.
Hey, how about the Bears losing to the Guardians? Was it the Cleveland? Washington. Who's
Yeah.
Washington now?
The Washington.
Did that Hail Mary?
Yeah, they threw that Hail Mary, and that guy was
Hail
playing
Mary
to the
pass?
fans, wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
They said the road
he's
games,
dogging the
okay.
fans, just taunting them, and all of a sudden, no, I better get over there, and he tips the ball to the guy, and they win. And
Yep, I
of
love
course,
it. I
us
love
being
it.
the North,
They're
I
called
want
the
Chicago to
Guardians, the
lose,
Washington Guardians.
yeah,
They're
because
no longer
the
allowed to
Cleveland
become the
Guardians,
Redskins.
Yeah,
because
what's
aren't
up
the
with-
You know what
Cleveland
name they were
Guardians the
gonna take,
baseball
John?
team?
Well,
You
anyway,
know what name they were going to take, Washington Redskins? They were going to call them the Foreskins because they couldn't call them the Redskins, so they were going to call them
That's
the
right.
Washington Foreskins.
their skin was so red because of the big force.
Well, all I got's the Seahawks, so I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
Well, how was you liked Russell when he was on your team, right?
Oh man, in those first few years, it was, the guy is fantastic to watch. It was to the point where I think you would say Russell needs to go to a good team. Russell needs to go to a good team.
Well, he is on a good team now.
He deserves it because he was a hell of a player to be able to watch.
He throws
See,
that moon
I
ball,
hated-
man. I ain't never
I
seen a
hated
pass go
Seattle.
straight up and straight down.
Yeah, I hated Seattle because of their coach. Because didn't he really screw over, who was it, USC or UCLA? Where did he coach before Seattle?
Yeah, it was one of those. I think that was so long ago now.
And
I
he
don't even remember.
He knew he was in violation, and he wrote him pretty high. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, you can't play in a bowl game. You're on probation, and you're going to lose these scholarships. And he bolted for the NFL. And Carroll.
Yeah.
I could never give the guy respect because of that. So,
Yeah.
But I mean, I wanted to like him, but I couldn't.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
absolutely.
Well, he threw that moon ball last week. I never seen a pass like that go straight up in the air, come straight down right in the receiver's hand. Boy, they were unbelievable.
Yeah, the brothers.
Well,
man.
our quarterbacks don't throw no longer than 8 yards down the field since Ben Roethlisberger's been gone. I haven't seen a long pass. So last week they had 3 long bombs for touchdowns. It was like, we're back.
Yeah.
Because that Justin Fields is a good kid. And he got us to 4-1, but he needs a little more time. He's a rookie.
Who's favored? What are the numbers?
We're favored. They're favored. I mean, the Giants are 2-5, so we're 6-1. So
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
yeah, we're in first place
Nice.
now. Cleveland beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Well,
I'm sorry, we're 6-2. We got 2 losses. We're 5-2, 6-2. I don't know, but we're in
Hey, are
first
we going to do
place.
anything?
are we
Are we
one
going to
of
do
the-
anything special next Monday, being day before election?
Well, that's what I mean. Well, it's going to be Mad Dog Day for part of it.
Mad
you know?
Dog Day in Pittsburgh, buddy.
And Mad Dog Day here
Yep,
too.
yep.
We're gonna do something
Yep.
special.
No,
I don't know
that's
what
cool.
yet, but
Yep.
haven't got a guest or anything lined up yet. But I'm working on. I'm trying to work on something. Right now I'm just focusing on this episode tonight, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But we'll figure it out. I mean,
Nah, don't worry. Listen, don't worry
well-
about me. Just play. We'll
well-
play the game. You don't have to honor me about nothing. I'm good.
well, it's not really about honoring you. It's just I just think it's a good concept. I think it's
I'm a
kinda fun.
team player, man. There ain't no I in team.
Well, yeah. Well, John Roberts, has been on here now. It'll be a year, probably on Tuesday or Wednesday since you joined us. Because last year on our Halloween
Oh,
show,
yeah, I don't know.
you made your debut.
All I know
on
is every
Renegade
time I
Radio.
talk, every time I'm on the air with him, it's an honor.
Oh, with who?
Who, with
Antique
me?
Man?
Yeah, damn right.
Oh, that's nice of you, brother. I'm honored to be with you. I ain't never met a dude catching damn catfish that big. You got that biceps
Well,
like Hulk
Hey,
Hogan.
hey,
You know what they say? Big
wait till I
catfish,
go
big
deer
everything
hunting.
else.
Wait till I
Yeah.
go deer hunting and see some of those pictures. Hopefully.
But
Do
John's
you go moose?
been-
No, for real. Do you go moose
I
hunting?
used to.
Yeah.
No, I used to guide moose hunters. Moose hunting is a once in a lifetime license. If you ever do get lucky enough to get drawn for a license, you'll never get another one again. Back
My
30
sister
years ago,
story.
there was moose everywhere, and
Oh, yeah.
now they're not. So it's a lot harder to find them. But no, I've never got to shoot one. I've seen many of them shot, but yeah, they're pretty impressive animals, man. They've
How the hell do you get 'em out
derailed
of the woods?
trains.
It's crazy. My sister
You-
was telling me that like a couple weeks ago that 2 years in a row she got her bull license, right? The following year, the only license that was open was a cow license. And she won that one too.
Wow.
How did she
3
get
years
them?
in a row.
What state?
After I had a
What
daughter,
state?
I quit hunting.
North Dakota. She lives in Wilson.
Oh.
After I
See,
got,
Minnesota,
after
it's
I
a
got,
once in a lifetime.
I shot a big buck. These are all my deer antlers on the wall here with all my knives hanging off them. After I got my last 10 point, brought it home, and my son told my daughter I shot Rudolph, and that was it. So she didn't talk to me for like 6 months, so I never went hunting again.
Oh,
So how much?
All right.
How much does if you shot a 10-pointer? How much does that thing weigh?
Here they're not that big, 200 pounds before you undress it.
oh.
Okay, so that's 200 pounds live weight.
Yeah,
Look at this one.
they're not that big.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
that's about the size of my 10 point. I wish I could show you, but there's 50 knives on one antler.
Yeah,
Let
yeah.
me see if I can
The
get a
biggest one
frontal.
I've ever shot dressed out at 230.
Wow,
That's
yeah, they're
pretty
big
rare.
up there. They're small around here.
All
Yeah,
right.
that was a pig.
I think we should get the show started here now. If it's
All
already
right, let's
started
go.
over.
Yeah.
We're waiting for you.
Well, I'm just waiting for you guys to be done with your family. I don't like to interrupt. I just let the flow. Let it flow.
Now you're being proper.
That's right. Pip pip cheerio. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Happy Halloween, boo, and welcome to this is the second annual special Halloween episode of Renegade Radio here. Compared to a year ago, we definitely have multiplied in size anyway. But I'm happy that we have all these ghouls and gals with us. we got Mama T, or no, we got John Roberts, we got Mad Dog, we got Lance Warlock, Mama T, DJ Ken, and Antique Man's. And Sam probably is not going to make it because he is sick, but he did say he may make an appearance tonight if he feels better. I'm sure he's watching.
I think he's having his period. I just think he got a little bit of cramps.
Well, he said he was with his grandson all weekend, and it's just kind of just started not feel good. But whatever. Yeah. It's okay. It's if he needs a night off, he can have the night off. We still got 4 more episodes to go before the season's over. So I'm sure we'll see him fairly soon, if not sooner. But tonight we got a couple of guests on to celebrate this Halloween season. We're supposed to have at 6 o'clock here in a few minutes our first guest, Jay David, who is the original drummer for Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show, supposed to join us around 6 o'clock.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a last minute thing, but that's all thanks to my friend Steve for helping me get him. And then the main event tonight. Huh? What?
Sharing the night together. Whoa. Yeah, are you kidding me?
I can't quit your day job.
Hey, who sings that?
Dr. Hook.
My dog is down here.
Yeah, well, let him do it then.
Yeah, let Dr. Hook sing.
Let Dr. Hook sing. You know what other song they should be talking about? Should be on the radio? A little love song called Penicillin Penny that nobody remembers at all.
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Can you sing solo? So low we can't hear you?
Yeah, sure.
How about tenor? How about tenor? 10 or 12 miles away.
I just gotta squeeze my nuts a little bit. I can sing high. I don't know. Anyway.
Off the same base, mom saying tenor.
And tonight, the main event that I know will be here for sure, because Jay's, I've been trying to get a hold of him all day, so. But
I thought Jay-Z was in jail.
Oh, it's not Jay-Z, it's Jay David. Robbie V will be our main event. And who the heck is Robbie V? Well, he's just a little bit of Minnesota music royalty, I'd say. Being the son of 60s singer Bobby V. He's been on my show before when I did my radio stuff and doing stuff at the college and whatnot. Well, now he's going to join us for a live Zoom call. I sent you guys a song last night. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, or if anybody listened to it. But
I listened.
That's one of his songs called Vacant that's going to be coming up on a new album that he's promoting here that's coming out next month, I believe.
When I first was listening to it, I thought he was saying bacon.
Well, he might like bacon, he's from Minnesota, so
bacon. That's what I'd be thinking.
Or vegan.
Well,
everything's better with bacon.
Before Jay comes or whatnot, or our first guest comes on the show tonight, I want to get to my segment real quick because I don't know if how long he's going to be on, if it's going to be a half an hour or until Robbie comes on. I mean, it's hard to say. I don't know, but I'm thinking it'd probably just be a half an hour, but we'll see. What I want to do is I want to share my segment here real quick with you guys, just to get it out of the way, because I think it's kind of funny. It has a lot to do with Halloween and just like fun things that can happen around that time of the year or this time of the year. So I'm gonna show you guys here. It's not as scary as last week's ordeal here with the infomercials, but just as funny. So we're just gonna watch this for just a little bit. I'm not gonna show the whole. I don't think we'll watch the whole video, but we'll just watch a little bit of it. It's just some hilarious porch slips and rigged camera fails, kind of fun from Fail Army. So enjoy.
There you go, you jagged.
You guys hear that at all?
No, I can only see a wee little bit of it.
Okay, let me hold on. See if we can. Hold on here. I forgot to turn the sound on. Silly me. Hold on. Stop share. I'll try that again. There we go. Share sound. All right, we'll try it one more time. There we go. Now I'll show you.
When you come on my porch, be careful because it's slippery.
Oh,
Don't miss
there you go.
Oh my
Ouch.
God. Damn fat.
CCTVs, the candid cams that visibilize, bring us together like an internet campfire to watch people fall over on the ice. This month we're celebrating the top 100 porch slips of all time in epic 4K.
Oh!
Oh, frick!
It just proves.
Oh,
Hey, that's what we all
It's
got
the
to
law.
look forward to in a couple of weeks.
yeah.
Ah,
Christ's sake.
Oh,
John Roberts.
Oh.
Oh.
and the ladder on top of
Oh.
That's what.
When best buds become your biggest problem and creatures of the wild rise up in defiance, you're looking at the first of our 5 elements of fail. These are earth fails.
That guy was afraid of those dogs.
Oh, yeah, your deer. There's your deer.
None of it's showing up.
Oh, well, it should be.
Who
I guess
keeps
that was the
playing that?
delivery from the dog guy.
Once in a while, it shows a picture, and that's it. There's a
It's
picture of 2
probably
cars.
because of your connection, probably. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell? Ew. Ew. Look at that.
Come on. Oh.
Oh.
How did I miss
Oh, shit.
oh man.
Okay, I think. All right.
Oh.
You know, there are times when you wish you had a camera. I was at
Yeah.
a friend's house one time, and his little boy was maybe 5, 6 years old, comes out to the top of the stairs and just does the full hands up, ah! And their dog came running around the corner,
Oh
put
boy.
his head under the boy, picked him up, and ran down the stairs. When they got to the bottom, his feet hit the ground, and he just balanced himself like he meant to do that.
That's
I was
crazy.
just sitting there going, why didn't I have a camera on that? Nobody's
Yeah.
ever seen it happen.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yep.
I didn't get to see any of it. It just showed me some still shots. I mean, it showed me a mallard duck walking. I didn't see a single video.
Oh,
There wasn't
Anything
even a
there.
duck on the
I just
video.
got once in a while. I got a still frame. That was it.
must be your connection then, because
I'm up here in the tundra, man.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, John Roberts, there was no ducks on there, so you were watching something else.
There was a duck.
There's a duck.
There had to have been a duck.
Yeah, there was a duck. It went quack quack. You know? It went quack,
It had to be a duck.
It
yeah,
had to be a duck.
there was a deer. Did you see the deer? Did it show the
There were
deer?
deer.
print in it?
No,
There was a
Yeah.
duck.
The deer.
Yeah. And there was lots of dogs and people
did
following.
not see a
slipping.
deer.
I did not see a duck.
Oh, you have to watch the replay. I know you don't like watching replays, but you might have to, or just find the video on.
Hey,
Facebook.
so was there a duck?
No,
Yeah, yes.
A mallard.
Okay.
there was not a duck. I didn't see no duck.
A mallard.
Well, I didn't see a mallard.
Yes. It was a mallard. It was a Drake mallard, a male mallard.
I didn't see a duck.
Well, now
Roll
that
again. Play my music, Sean. Roll it
now,
again.
well, now that
No,
it's
no,
now that it's Halloween time or Halloween this week, any places in you guys' area, like Lance? I mean, in your area, what do they do for trick or treating, or do they do a trunk or treat, or do they do anything around your area for?
Yeah.
Well, now they got to wear bulletproof costumes if you get trick or treating around my house.
Oh yeah, there's places not to go. I mean, I think that a lot of them do it
Yes.
on the weekends, so there's signs all over that stuff's already happened over the weekend.
Yeah,
And
we
then
had that
it's
trunk or treat last week.
yeah, I mean it's like,
Yeah.
as long as we have decent weather, eh, the neighborhoods are okay. The kids still do some of that. It's not
Yeah.
like the good old days, but
Yeah, we have Fremont Street, so it looks like Halloween every night.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You don't know if people are cosplaying or what?
Oh, there's
I
just
love Fremont.
there's freaks everywhere, man.
Yeah,
We
that's
got
what I call it.
Halloween
I said
Thursday night.
I'd
My
rather
house
go
is
sit on
decorated.
Fremont and watch the freak show than I would go gamble on the strip. I'd much rather go hang out at Fremont and watch the freak show.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
If you said trick or treat to them, they'd probably
I mean,
give you a
you
pack
meet
of
like
used condoms.
4 different Jesuses. I mean,
yeah.
heck,
Well,
Yeah,
if you say
right.
trick or
You
treat
like
down there,
the
you
world's
don't want to put
biggest
either one of them in your mouth.
boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the M&Ms that you don't want to melt in your mouth. I tell you, ooh. Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. Well, anyway, around here, I know Thursday or not Thursday, Saturday, they did that big event uptown at the Fibber on the 26th, and they had all the kids dress up and everything. I think they had about 1,400 kids over there, which
We
doesn't
had,
sound like a lot,
well,
but yeah.
That's quite a few.
And where our studio is, we had our deal on Saturday too, and they tell you to get candy for 2,000 kids. And I didn't go because I had to officiate a wedding, but they said they ran out of candy with about 15 minutes left to go, and it's I think a 3-hour gig, a
It's
3-hour
insane
deal for
what
the
candy
kids. But
costs these days.
yeah, it was about $400
Oh yeah,
for 2,000 kids.
I mean,
It used to be $100, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
yeah, you're looking at bags that have 30 pieces in them, and they want $12. It's like I don't think so.
Yeah, right.
Is this our guest or our first guest for the night, Jay?
Kids are going to start getting dog kibble. I can get a 50-pound bag for $48.
Well, tower that.
There you go.
Jay, is that you on the phone there?
It's crunchy. It's good for you. Eat it.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys, our guest, our first guest has arrived. He's on the phone, I guess. I thought he was going to do through Zoom.
All right, everybody, act like you've been out in public. Company's here.
Oh, Jay's on.
Yeah, I guess he's doing a phone interview instead of because you can
Right
do
on.
that option too. We've done that before when we had Mary Deason on here over a year ago from Mama Teammate
Yeah.
Review. How's it going, Jay? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Renegade Radio.
Well, thank you. Hello, Renegade Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
I'm
I'm doing fine. Thank you.
I'm glad that you made it because I see that you tried to call me earlier on, and then I tried to call you back, and you must have been busy today, huh?
Well, what I was busy with was Apple. I'm an Apple guy. I have Apple iPhones, iPads, and Macs. I have all those things, and they couldn't talk to each other. So I was getting messages in, but I couldn't send messages back out to answer. So consequently, I had to call Apple and say, "Hey, fellas, help me out here."
Yeah.
So I was on the phone for about 2 or 3 hours today, and
Oh,
was
okay.
getting phone
That's
calls
fun.
while I was with those people. It sucks, man. It really does. But it turns out it's my carrier that there's a problem with. That's who they're sending me to. So, but anyway, other than that, it's a lovely day.
Well, that's good. Do you like this time of the year, Halloween? Is that a favorite holiday of yours, or what do you prefer?
I do. I love Halloween. I love the weather. I'm an autumn kind of guy, and I always like it when it cools off. And yeah, I like autumn. I like Halloween. And
Where do you live, Jay?
yeah, I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'm in LA.
Okay.
Yeah. And we do have weather here. Oh, yeah, we do. It's, you know, I mean, it can be 75 on Christmas Day, but it's here.
Sure.
And, which is good. You know, it's really good.
Well, we appreciate having you on the show because you know, Steven Joyner has helped me get a few people on the show here lately, and because you know it's nice to have a little help sometimes, you know, here and there. And he said that you definitely want to do some podcasting, so he said I should hit you up and have you on the show. And well, this is our Halloween special tonight, so you
Ooh.
so you're one of our first guests. We still have Robbie V, who's the son of '60s music icon Bobby V. He'll be coming up after you're done.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby V. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. He was good.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's out of Minnesota. That's the state that I live in.
I see.
So
yeah, the first thing we ever did with Dr. Hook was we were in a movie, a Dustin Hoffman movie called Who is Harry Kellerman and Why Is He Saying Those Terrible Things About Me? And we did the title song and we're in it also. And so we got sent out to Minnesota to go at a movie theater. And after the movie played, then we played. So that's what we did. Yeah, that's what we did. I got some pictures someplace of it. Yeah.
well, that's great. It's you know nice connection to Minnesota anyway.
Yeah, oh, it was cool. It was cool. People didn't know us from Adam at the time, you know, but they saw the movie and there we were, and then there we were again. You know, so it was cool. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, so you started with Dr. Hook, and Stephen told me you also did stuff with David Crosby as well.
I did, yeah. I was David's drummer for 5 years, and I have an autobiography out on Amazon, and it's called "Don't Blame the Music." And David wrote, it may be one of the last things he wrote. He wrote out a little blurb for me on the front page of my book. And, so yeah, we stayed friends through all these years, and yeah, I was the only witness to his bust in Dallas, and
Okay.
they wanted to fly me down to Dallas to testify, and I said no, I'm not going back to Texas, no way. And so they had an attorney fly up and give me a deposition where I was living at the time in Northern California, in a town called Sausalito. So that's what I did. And I did 8 months, and but we stayed in touch with each other.
Okay, well, that's cool. Now I have a panel of co-hosts on the show tonight, as we always do, and a lot of these guys were pretty excited when I mentioned that that we were going to have you on because they're big fans of Dr. Hook, and they're just music people in general. I'm going to start off with Antique Man, because I think Antique Man might. You know, he always comes up with some good questions, just off the cuff.
Well, first of all, thanks for being on the show. And my little history, I'm 72 years old. I grew up in a rock band in South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. And 4 years ago, we got inducted into the South Dakota Rock Hall of Fame. I'm still kicking out. Yeah, it's been fun. Still kicking out a few tunes, and living near Dallas. I moved from the Dakotas down to Dallas I'm north of Dallas. Moved here about 8 years ago.
Oh, I see. Well, I hope it's friendlier to you than it was to us.
Oh, we're in a very peaceful area. So
cool. The only peaceful area in Texas, frankly, that I've ever been in was Austin. Austin was like an oasis.
Sure.
Yeah.
really
Sure.
was. It really was. But,
What kind of questions
cool.
you got for Jade or Antique Man, if you have any?
Well, my drumming experience is very limited, but when you started drumming, did you have to learn a 1E and a 2E?
I taught myself, and
There you go.
yeah, I taught myself, and I joined the drum and bugle corps, which was very big back in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I got my start in drumming outside of my bedroom, and so and I just kept going with it, But I've taught drums, but I as usual I had to make up my own way of doing it, and
Sure.
what I did was I would have drum students in a music store, a brick and mortar music store. They hired me to be a drum instructor. I said, cool, okay. So it occurred to me that comes in is not coming in just to learn the drums. They come in for different reasons. I had one person, her wrist got broken. The doctor recommended that she do wrist training. And so drum lessons is what she was there for, but she was there for a whole other
Interesting.
reason. So
Sure.
what I had her do was I had her bring me in her favorite. And when she brought me in her favorite record, I taught her how to play drums to her favorite record. So that we
fun.
just bypassed everything. Yeah, we bypassed everything else. So before you know, she's tapping away with the song she loves, and
Yeah.
That's what I was able to teach her, And so, and I did that with everybody that came in to see me. What's your
A great
favorite
idea.
record? Slipping and sliding, my little Richard. Bring it into me next week. All right, and that, and so people were enjoying the lessons. It wasn't 1E and a 2E and like you said.
Yeah.
It was, right, left, right, left. Like, get out of here. Just little Richard. And it was wonderful. I had a great time. So did they, I hope.
That's great.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Next question I'll let John Roberts ask. So I'm sure you got some questions.
Hi, man.
John.
Hey, cool. Nice to talk with you. I'm an old radio guy. I got like 4 decades in. I have a video podcast company now, but been a music guy forever, and I was a huge Dr. Hook fan. Do you have, and I know this is a difficult question, at least it is for me, if somebody asks me this, what's your favorite song, or who's your favorite guitar player, or who's your favorite drummer, blah, 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 blah. I can't name one, but I could name like my top 5. What's your favorite Dr. Hook song and why? That's my question.
Okay, Carry Me, is mine. And a close second would be The Last Morning. And both of those songs were very meaningful for Dennis and myself because we were the 2 guys that were from the inner city of New Jersey. He's from Union City, and I'm from Bayonne. So, and those 2 songs addressed what the inner city experience was like. And, for instance, The Last Morning, the lyrics went, "This is the last morning that I wake up in this dirty city, looking for the sunshine as the buildings block the sky." And it goes on. It's very sad, but if you're stuck in the middle of the inner city, that's your experience, And Carry Me, Carry was about a drunk who was collapsed in the doorway, and he was in his stupor. He was crying out for his daughter, carry him. And so those are my 2 favorites.
Okay. That's very, very
Thank you.
interesting. Very, very interesting. Next, I'll let fellow musician and music composer, Mr. Lance Warlock, ask some questions.
Hey, yeah, Jay. So
Yeah.
So what's it sounds like you and I have a lot of the same type of past. I too am a drummer. I kind of was born, I felt like, right around the drums. I also was at a brick and mortar store and taught privately and have seen the same types of moments, and it's pretty great to be able to share those things. So I'm
Yeah.
were you in the day of playing music, once like the bugle stuff was done, did you primarily focus on band, or did you get opportunity in between playing with people to ever dive into the studio aspect of it as a hired guy?
The studio aspect, oh yeah. Yeah, I did. I was, well, I don't know if you folks know who Brenda Lee is.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
oh, absolutely.
Okay. From 1966 and 67, I was Brenda's drummer before Dr. Hook. And when I came back from being with Brenda, because that brought me to the deep south, talk about culture shock. They flew me out from JFK Airport in Mississippi, and it was like back in time. I couldn't believe it. But and I have an autobiography out, by the way, on Amazon. I think I've already told you that, but part one is done, and that's what's out now. And those are my Dr. Hook years. As far as Brenda is concerned, as far as Crosby is concerned, Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks, I was his drummer. I've gone and been in the studio. I've recorded with Neil Diamond. I've recorded with a whole bunch of people. And so, yeah, it was what brought me to the attention of the manager of Dr. Hook was from the studio. I was there was it may still be going a publishing Mercury Records called MRC Music, and I was brought in as the staff drummer, first call staff drummer for them. And what that meant was every time they had about 100 writers on salary, and whenever one of those writers came into the manager, whose name is and was then Joel Diamond, Joel would listen to what they had and said, okay, go in and record it. In which case they called me. I was the staff drummer. So I was doing record. I was in the studio all the time. This is after Brenda Lee, and before Dr. Hook. So I was in the studio all the time, and I loved it. It was wonderful. Did I answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm always curious because I know that, sometimes musicians have their own personal, I want to be more of a band guy. I want to be a hired gun. I want to share it on both. Are you still playing as of today?
As of today, I'm playing keyboard. I have my own little studio, and I have a CD out called J. David, and my second solo CD. On the first one, I played all the instruments and did all the voices, and on the second one, I played everything but the guitar because I have no business playing a guitar, and so that's what I did, and
Yeah, so far from just a drummer.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Oh, cool.
I do
That's
have
cool.
a set of, I have a set, two sets. I have the same set that I got in 1960, Blue Sparkle Slingerlands, and 20-inch bass drum, 12-inch tom, and 14 floor tom. I have those. My father bought them for me in 1960, just before I went in the Navy, and I'm a Navy veteran, and so I still have those, and I bought a set about 4 years ago of stand-up drums, and they're really cool because everything it's supposed to be, so keep you on your toes. And
Yeah, the cocktail drum set.
yes, sir, that's it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I know what
use,
you're speaking.
yeah, I use those on. I did a one-man show, and it was about 15 minutes long. It was just a quick one-man show, but I told a story about when I was a wedding band leader. The only time I was ever a wedding band leader, and I dropped acid before the gig, and I had someone with me, and I yeah, it's crazy, man. The other guys never got high before, and they asked me if I had any pot. I said no, I don't, but I got something else. So I gave these virgins a hit of acid apiece, and the story is about what happened after that. You know, oh yeah, it's goofy, man. It's goofy. The wedding party came in, and they were all Italians. It's Brooklyn Italians, and they saw me playing in Times Square at a place called the Wagon Wheel. And he says, I like the way you play. I'm going to hire you to be the band leader for my daughter's reception next June. You want to do that? Who would say no to this guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. So, and it's that story. And what happened was that as the bridal party is walking, it was crazy because the way the hall was set up, it was you walk in the front door and there is a damn stage right to the right of you, and it didn't make any sense because you keep going and there is a big ballroom. They should have had the band in there where everybody was eating it. They were out in the front door, and but anyway, they everybody high and in the band, and these guys didn't know what the hell they didn't know what they were doing, man. It was great. And I'm thinking I'm cool, and the wedding party comes in, and I said, okay, let's start the wedding march. Dan 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 forward, and then we go, and we're about 15 choruses into it, and as the wedding party is marching past the stage on their way into the ballroom, and I realized that the wrong song. Instead of singing the wedding march, I sang
Birthday.
I sang Happy Birthday to You. So and that was it was crazy, man. There's some guy marching past me mouthing the words to Happy Birthday to You, giving me the stink eye. And once I realized what I had done, I started laughing. I just couldn't stop, you know. And it went up about 30 choruses. But anyway, that's the story. And before I did that story, I played my cocktail set drums, and I had a lot of fun. It's on a video somewhere. I don't know. I should release that. Yeah, it's crazy.
Next we have DJ Ken Heath. He's all the way from Las Vegas, and he's Wolfman Jackson's nephew. Just so you know.
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing better than I have a right to, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm going to try to come up with something that's not the usual question you get asked. So hopefully this is an original for you. How did you and the guys from the band like the Muppets making Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem?
Yeah, we were cool. We were cool with it, you know, because a lot of our songs were very funny.
You know, you couldn't get on the cover of the Rolling Stone, but you could get on the Muppet Show. So,
yeah, right. Well, we finally got on the cover of Rolling Stone, but yeah, yeah. Good question, man. That was wonderful. I like it.
And then last but not least, we have Mad Dog. Mad Dog, do you have any questions at all for?
I don't know if this was asked before because I had to briefly step out, but when did you start playing music? What age were you?
Well, I was singing on a radio show, NBC Radio, when I was 2.5.
Wow.
And so I jumped in before I knew I couldn't. and and all of the background vocals, all of the harmonies, I did all the arranging, and sang with Dennis and Ray and myself. And I played keyboard on about 50% of the songs, besides the drums on all of them. So I mean, I have a long background in a few different musical disciplines.
That's
And,
cool. That's cool.
I mean, in retrospect, now I'm 82. So in retrospect, I wish I could have taken lessons in one of them, because I could have been a lot better than I was. But what I was limited to what I could make up by myself, and what I made up by myself brought me worldwide fame, infamy. I don't know what you want to call it, but so I'm pretty creative that way.
Wow, you're 82. That's awesome. And then you started playing the drums when you were around too?
I started playing the drums when I was about 5
Oh,
or 6.
okay.
Yeah, later in life.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Well, so Jay, for anybody that wants to know how to learn more about your story and learn more about you, how can they do that?
They can do that by going on Amazon and looking up either my name or the name of my book, which is called Don't Blame the Music.
Okay.
Good title.
Yeah. Good
Thank
title.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Yes, we do.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially thanks
for coming.
to Stephen for hooking us up. And
I've never done an interview like this before, asking various questions from various folks.
well,
I
I
appreciate
figured
that a lot.
I figure let's do it round robin style like we did with the digital town hall a few weeks ago. So
No, it's just because we're all
Yeah.
chicken shit and have to gang up on you. That's why.
yeah, that's right. That's right. All right, brother. Well, we appreciate you, and happy Halloween and happy holidays early.
Happy holidays to you all. It's been a
Yeah,
pleasure.
thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right, thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay.
Bye.
There you go, guys. What do you think? Jay David. Interesting story, huh?
Yeah, it was
Bravo.
good.
Very interesting.
I hope it was all right with the round robin thing. That was not
Yeah,
planned.
no,
That was just
that was-
I thought that was better than us jumping on top of each other asking questions.
maybe that's how we should do it from now on. You know,
I think that was awesome. But
Yeah,
sometimes, like into the music guys, I get a little dumbfounded when I didn't follow too much music when I was a kid. I was my own thing, you know.
But
But
you knew Dr. Hook, though.
I knew Dr. Hook. Yeah, I banged a chick to that.
Yeah, video of that. Yeah,
The popular song back then.
Cover of the
Maybe
Rolling
we'll
Stone.
stay together.
You were banging the chick when you were
As mother said.
Oh, is that he sang that too?
Oh, they had a shit.
Oh,
ton of
Sylvia's
hits,
mother?
man.
My
Yeah,
brother
those are
would have
big
a ball with
hits.
that. His first wife was Sylvia.
Shel
Cover of the
Silverstein wrote
Rolling
that.
Stone. I mean, they just
See, that's
had a
before
ton
my
of
time.
hits.
You guys are. I don't know. I'm older than those. I'm older than all you, except for
Yeah,
Antique Man.
you're older than
Only
Jack,
16?
Jeez.
Only
All right.
16.
Oh,
Sylvia's
God.
Only
Penicillin
16.
Penny,
That's
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they
Oh,
probably did a cover of that, probably.
Baby makes her blue jeans talk.
Yeah.
oh, I do know all this music. Yeah. Huh.
Well, the one that I liked was Penicillin Penny because that's just, that's a song that should be on the radio, but all the stations are afraid to play it, even today, Come on, Ken, you got to play that song on your show.
Funny thing about on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine had just started, and that song hitting the charts helped the magazine.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so had nothing
they
to do
couldn't
with
put the band on the cover, or else they were going to make liars out of the band.
I suppose it had nothing to do with the Rolling Stones, the band being.
So a few years later, they actually put them on the cover as a caricature.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So they didn't get their picture on the cover. So that didn't make them liars.
Fair enough.
But I didn't realize that the Dr. Teeth was
Crazy.
a spinoff of Dr. Hook. I had no clue about that.
Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Okay.
Yep.
That's where Animal comes from then. 'Cause that's
Actually, Animal was based on Keith Moon
Oh. Okay.
from The Who.
That makes so much sense. Keith Moon was a nut job.
Oh, he
Wow.
was Well, that's why they called him Moon the Loon.
Right, right.
Wow, all this
Yep.
education I'm getting.
You just never knew what you were going to get with him.
Well, being in the Vegas area, I'm sure you see a lot of shows and stuff, or go to a lot of random shows. I mean, what's the most craziest thing you've ever seen in Vegas other than the Strip? There, Ken.
Actually, don't make it to a lot of shows. Most of the stuff I do, I'm helping produce it.
Oh.
For various conventions and things like that. But
sure.
I was behind the stage with Vanilla Ice was out, and his drummer did a drum solo, and somebody goes, "Buy that man a drink." And so the guy came back around, left his drum kit and came back in the back, and I had my cooler, pulled out a bottle of Jaeger that I had in the ice, and he goes, "Oh man, thanks." And he took a sip. Vanilla saw it, came back, grabbed the bottle, poured my Jaeger out to the entire crowd. And at the end of the show, I see somebody getting my bottle autographed for them. And
wow.
I was the security, one of the security guys.
What a kick in the nuts.
So when we got back to the green room afterwards, we're all having drinks and stuff. Somebody had a little airplane bottle of Jaeger. And I walked up to him and said, "Dude, you owe me a bottle of Jaeger." He goes, "Oh, was that yours?" I'm like, "Yeah, fucker." Yeah. And I pulled out this little bottle. I said, "Here, since you gave my bottle to somebody else, autograph this one for me."
Oh, wow. I didn't know you were allowed to drink as a security guard though, like while the job's going on or whatever.
Well, it depends on who you're working for.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't do that. I do that now.
This was part of a convention, and I wasn't like, the hotel wouldn't let us call ourselves security.
Okay.
I was their escort. Make sure the band got from place to place, and
I do that now for
all that kind of stuff.
Entertainment. I do that now for a company called Dretsky Entertainment. I had the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and when I went back and saw how Larry the Cable Guy talked, I was so disappointed. Like, he goes, "What's the matter, big guy?" I'm like, "I'm waiting to hear you get her down and all." I thought you talked like that in real life, Because you that disappointed. I'm like, no, I'm okay. And I'm like, through the show's going on, I'm like, I was pissed off. When he got done, he took me out. We went out drinking all night. I got pictures of me and Larry Cable Guy sitting on donkeys and.
Nice.
Ron White was a killer too. He was drunk before the show started.
Oh, obviously.
I got pictures of me, Ron White, Larry the Cable Guy, and who was the other one?
Jeff Foxworthy and
Bill
Engvall.
Yeah.
Bill, here's your sign.
Yeah, I did a lot. Sinbad was my favorite. That guy was the greatest guy you ever want to meet in your life. He did a 2-hour show, didn't say one swear word, and he had that crowd laughing more than the first comedian who cussed all night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had Freedom Williams one year from CNC Music Factory. And on the way out to the stage, we're in hotels, so the green room is somebody's room. Well, as he's walking out the door, he sees half a gallon bottle of Jack Daniels sitting there, so he grabs it. And he goes out on stage and he does his act. And afterwards, everyone's like, "Oh man, he was all drunk. You see that? He came out, he'd already drank half that bottle." And I'm like, "He wasn't drunk." They're like, "How do you know?" I said, "Because I spent the whole night with him, sitting and talking about the new house he just bought and how his granddaughter's living with him. And, he grabbed that bottle on the way out the door. It was already half gone." And they're like, "No, he was drunk." I'm like, "Yeah, well, believe what you want." Yeah.
Well, I lost the guy one night. You remember the dude from the Howard Stern show destroyed himself doing drugs? The hell was his name?
Yeah, okay.
No, the one that used to be his co-host all the time. He's a comedian. He was in a couple of movies and that. He did so much blow his nose collapsed. What the hell was his name?
Artie Lang.
Artie Lang. I was supposed to watch Artie Lang one day in Pittsburgh, and all of a sudden he come up, he disappeared. He was going out looking for heroin. We're driving around the neighborhood looking for Artie Lang. Well, we found him like 2 hours later. He was just dusted. He couldn't even walk or talk. Like, that was the worst time of my life. How do you lose somebody?
Yeah.
I went to take a piss. He went out the side door. Artie
That's
Lang was a
crazy.
piece of crap.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, did you ever see him now? His nose was completely collapsed. Like, there ain't no nose left from doing so much shit up his nose. It was he snorted everything. Yeah.
Well, that's the life of trying to be famous. You know, I like that movie he did called Dirty Work with Norm Macdonald. That's a classic. You know, can't beat that. You know. Yeah, I don't know. Some people, I guess, when they get famous, they just think they're powerful than thee. I guess
You know the best guy I ever did so far, and he's gonna laugh at me. Wayne Newton. He had a show at the Carnegie Music Hall around here at our Carnegie Music Hall. He put on a show, and he's 83. And I was sitting behind stage like I was impressed. I mean, this guy was still. He had a hologram of the Rat Pack, and he was singing with them. It looked like they were on stage with him.
Nice.
And they were looking at him, and then they put the tape on where he was really singing with the Rat Pack when he was like 20 or something. And he was singing as 83 like they were, but he had the hologram on, and he had a big screen behind his shoulder. I was sitting there like, this is fantastic. I mean, Jesus God. It was like, when I got done, I had sat next to him. I said, I thought, oh God, I got this show tonight. This is going to be, what am I going to do? Chase somebody in a walker running the stage, or,
Wayne is
85
incredible.
85-pound pair of underwear.
When I was 10 years old, I shared the stage with Wayne here in Vegas.
Oh.
Wow.
Were you playing an instrument?
No, I just got interviewed by him, and we talked for a little bit, and then he went on with the show.
Okay.
Wow. Because that guy, I mean, even at a young age, you'll see him on, the Jack Benny show, and he'll play a whole skit. He'll play every instrument.
Back in the day.
Guy's crazy. It's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Jack Benny, they're the guy. Rochester.
Yeah, Mr. Benny.
One guy that
we lose Mama T.
Yeah, she's not feeling
well.
Again. She's under a lot of stress, and I tell you what, off.
You're all talking about football. She said, "Screw it, I'm out."
I don't think I highly doubt that. I think she's just
she's not feeling well.
Well, she's just going through a lot of bullshit. I mean, really,
that's a shame how that all fell on her.
That bar, those people that run it now should feel ashamed of themselves, because Mama T should be paid to be run the bar. I firmly believe that. She's done a great job. She always made everything good. I mean, I'm not just complimenting her because of who she is, but she knows what the fuck she's doing.
And I heard the food was unbelievable.
Ran the bar for the last 3 years. She ran the bar the whole time Bobby owned it.
Yeah,
basically.
Pretty much.
And I heard she made some decent food there and everything.
Oh, absolutely. Huh? Oh, the food was wonderful. Yes. Oh my God. I mean, we roast each other, on the show. Mama T and I do, but I really have a lot of respect for her, because she's been put through a lot, and she's still strong enough to just fight another day. I mean,
but how long can you fight another day? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Some of the artists that have played there in this little dinky little town in northwest Minnesota you're not going to see them unless you go to the cities or maybe Chicago.
That's the thing about
Milwaukee.
That. Bob had
really good musicians.
Bobby had a vision, and I really loved the fact that the type of vision that he had, because he wanted to change the way things were at small towns. He picked McIntosh because there was a time when he thought that Thief River, or the people of Thief River, didn't really want to help him out or watch him be successful, because he just had that attitude that, who cares about Thief River anymore? If they don't care about me, why should I care about them? So he moved to McIntosh. He found the bar and moved to McIntosh. Now, had it still been in Thief River, I'm pretty sure he would probably either still be alive to this day, maybe, and the bar would be a success, because I really truly believe he would compete with Rusty Nail and everything. So, but he went to McIntosh because he was upset.
We actually had a place in Grand Forks that I thought would have been perfect for him to buy, but he had just bought McIntosh. If he would have known this place was available in Grand Forks, he would have it would have been pretty cool.
I
It
would
would
have
have
loved
been
to.
really cool. In fact,
I would. Yeah.
I'm going to a funeral or a prayer service Wednesday night. Good friend of ours, he ran the bar that I'm talking about for years and years, and he just passed away. So we got to go up, and I can't make the funeral. It's out of town. I got to work, but we're gonna go to the prayer service. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
it would have been cool to see him in Grand Forks because he would have had like open mic nights and stuff like that. Would have been so much logistically easier to do because there's a ton of people right around here. We
Well,
don't
what
have to
I
drive the
the,
Macintosh.
the thing about with Bob is I would have loved to see him successful in his last years. You know, I mean, I even if he would have still passed away when he did, I wish he could have been successful. I really wish. I mean, he turned his life went full 360 from the time after his dad died and even before then. And I had to witness that the last 5 years of his life. And even if I wasn't with him the whole time, but it was just I mean, we could write a book about his story, and it still wouldn't tell you everything.
Tell you what, if you can get your hands on uh, the Little Bobby and when they were live at the Empire, uh, Fat Man Dan Deline was their drummer. I
Yep.
jammed with him in high school. Um, it's unreal, you guys. You can really get an appreciation for him, and to say Bobby played on stage at my house like 5 times, probably unreal. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you can. Played the biggest music festivals in the world, and then he's playing in my backyard. I mean, our parties were pretty epic, but still, that's pretty cool.
Well, speaking about music and live music, I wanted to explain to you guys how my time went last week in the Grand Forks. I went to Chester Fritz and watched the acoustic music that was going on over there at with the Theory of a Dead Man. The big event or whatnot they almost sold out. I mean, they had almost. I mean, there was a few empty spots. I mean, my our brother-in-law and I were up in the balcony area,
Be
the
right
first
back. Gotta
balcony.
let the dogs out.
Yeah. But I was impressed. The whole show, all three bands that were there, the two openers, and then Theory of a Dead Band. They really. It didn't sound like an acoustic show the last hour. That's for sure. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
What time you got?
We got it's 6:37.
Oh, okay. I got some time yet.
So, oh yeah, you got plenty of time. I did email him to say if you want to come early, he can. So I feel like we're kind of,
I don't want to miss that kickoff.
Well, if you had YouTube TV or something, you could just watch it on your phone while
I'm
or
on
watch
my
it on your
phone
tablet.
now.
Or watch it on your
My
tablet.
iPad shit the bed this morning.
Oh, did you wipe it afterwards?
Yeah. I think I slept on it too long.
Yeah. But
Well, I'm curious which bar in Grand Forks you were talking about that Bobby might have liked. The name of that bar?
It was actually the old Catholic bar, the Knights of Columbus, the KC Club.
Yeah, I know where it's
Um,
at.
yeah. So iHeart Radio, I worked there for 21 years. It's half a block away. And so we started going there and found out more and more about it. It's a Catholic bar. I helped build their shed. I helped them build redo their basement after the flood, and they treated us like we were members, even though we weren't. But they had
Uh-huh.
fish fries. You could jump on the bus and go to the Sioux hockey games, and it was really cool. Well, they got these two bitchin' apartments above. They got this big main bar, and then the dining room in the back, and a kitchen that was one of the very few in Grand Forks that got all grade A's from the health department every year. And a full basement bar, and the price was unbelievably doable. Um, I mean, a liquor license would have ran you about 65,000, but
Yeah.
they said the two apartments paid the mortgage,
Hmm.
and it was a pretty cool deal. He could have ran some really good shows in the basement.
oh,
But he
Sure.
had just bought the one in McIntosh, and I don't know. he probably got a better deal. Well, I'm guessing he did. This place was pretty crazy. If I didn't want to have the hassles of buying a bar, it would have been worth buying. It would have been a good investment.
Uh-huh.
But it would have been good to see a town like Grand Forks.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
McIntosh I'm not kidding you. There's nothing to it. It's like about the size of the town where Frankie lives. We're up here, man.
Yeah,
It's
so
Frankie's lucky because they got a Super Senex in his town where you can get pretty much everything.
It's not that super. It's not that.
Really
Do I want to spend $4 for a candy bar? It's not that super. Jesus Christ! They don't even have
but
they don't even have a
compare
fountain
that
pop
to
at
what
all.
they have in McIntosh. But compare that to what they have in McIntosh.
Yeah, well, they got a little bit more in Macintosh.
That's convenience.
It's
convenience.
an inconvenience store here in Brooks.
Well,
they don't even have fountain pop at all. What the fuck? They have a TV that's like blue all the time. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Blue screen of death or whatever. They can't afford.
Well, do you go there to watch TV?
Absolutely, I watch all the wrestling and everything. Yeah, it's all blue and everything when you watch.
It's like the old days when people used to go stand outside of the TV repair store and watch TV through the window. He don't have one of his own. He has to go watch it at
with a fountain pop.
Yeah, get a fountain pop and watch the blue screen of death. That's right. Absolutely. By the ATM or whatever. It's by their office. It's a blue screen. I'm sure. I don't know if it's either the TV itself that's like that, or if it's just like for security purposes. But it's a nice TV. But it's like, why is it blue?
Well, look, man, most of us on here know and can remember when TV actually stopped at one point in the evening and it was done and you were done. And
it played the national anthem and it went off the air.
That's it. Good night.
Yeah.
You didn't.
I worked in radio.
Yeah.
AM radio back in the day. We had to sign off and we did the national anthem and good night. And we went off the air till like 6 a.m.
I think Pioneer 9.1 did that too in my early days when I first started there.
I used to start a station in Boise. It was AM and FM. And I'd go in and at midnight, I'd shut it all down and come back around 6, get it all back up. Yeah.
So what do you think the purpose was of everybody shutting down? Just to take a break? Just to
They figured nobody was out there.
Nobody was working night turn back then.
Nobody was awake at the time. Everybody was.
It was something to do with that and the FCC, and I don't know. I think
running 24 hours costs money.
It was just like it was the norm. It was the norm, except for the very few, like what was the big one out of Chicago, WLS or whatever, and you had those few humongous AMs that ran 24 hours. But yeah, it was just like the norm. That's just what you did. You shut down at midnight.
Pittsburgh had the first radio station, KDKA.
The first radio station, Pittsburgh.
It was an AM radio. It was called KDKA. It's still on. But it's on FM now, too.
I tell you what, I worked at some really good FM radio stations, but I had a lot of fun working old school AM radio. I mean, I one time got a letter back in the mail. Somebody that was listening to me in AM in Iceland at this weather station where they had run a wire up, an antenna up a balloon like 1,000 feet or whatever, and sent me a cassette of me doing the news. It was kind of broken up and stuff. I mean, granted, now people watch our shows from all over the world, but you never got that in FM radio. I mean, nobody could ever say, hey, I listen to you. 8 and 10-hour flight away, and I could hear you. That's pretty cool, and that only happened in AM.
I got something for you. I read this before, and I just looked it up to verify that what I read, a while back was still in my head properly. You know what WLS, the call letters, stand for?
No. What?
World's largest store. Sears and Roebuck started that radio station.
Wow.
That's a little crazy.
WLS.
Yep. So there's your radio trivia.
And there is something to be
Oh.
said for AM, you know, because I grew up in Southern California in the early 70s, man. And I mean, I grew up on KHJ
Oh yeah,
in LA, and oh my, I feel like I got so much
Boss Radio.
information just sucked right out of that. I was still playing my
Isn't
records
it
and
one
music
side
was
of the
in the
country
house,
starts
but
with a K and
Yeah,
the other with a
I grew up
W?
with KHJ.
oh yeah, you
Oh
did?
yeah, I'm from Orange County. Yeah, Southern California.
Okay,
I
I grew up in Van Nuys. I lived
Oh,
for
okay.
about 11 years, and my first 11 years in Van Nuys, and it was KHJ all the way.
Oh yeah, I had a Radio Shack radio on the handlebars of my bike,
Ah,
and it was AM,
yeah,
and it was locked in on KHJ.
that's cool.
like
Robert
one of
W.
these or
Morgan, Machine
something?
Gun Kelly, Charlie
Transistor
Tuna,
radio.
all those guys.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, my radio had tubes in it, glass tubes.
Oh, even
Oh yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Not good
On
for
my radio,
traveling.
I had to crank it up about 30 times.
Golly.
That's funny. That is funny.
Golly.
Then I found Dr. Demento on FM and started listening to
Ah.
KMET
Oh, of course. KMET, KLOS.
because Dr. Demento was on KMET. So like every Sunday night, you're right there listening to it live.
Dr. Demento.
And
Wow.
you know, it wasn't until I moved out of California and I went to listen to Dr. Demento and I got the syndicated show that the whole rest of the country listens to. I was like, this sucks. And my friends are like, no, this is Dr. Demento. It's great. I'm like, I know it's Dr. Demento, but you've never heard his live show.
Correct. Yeah. You don't understand.
This is like bits and pieces, and you're just getting
Wow.
part of it, and it sucks.
Wow.
That is
Radio
something.
just changed so much. I worked for iHeart for 21 years, and I mean, our radio stations, we had 5 different stations in our building, and we dominated our area for so many years. We had a couple of shows that could have got syndicated, but everybody was happy, you know, and corporate just changed everything, and nothing's local anymore. It's
Yep.
there's you don't just go into radio anymore. I had to get accepted into radio and television school, which was hard to get into. And you kind of needed it now. I mean, well, they've done away with that program years ago, but there's just not even any jobs available anymore. Nobody does it. It's all AI animated or somebody voice tracking all around the world. And you know, they won't pay local guys to do the local talent that actually know what's going on all over the world, but they'll pay some washed up MTV VJ a shit ton of money and have all these awards like the music awards, the video awards, the whatever awards, but let's and it's the downfall. Now they're talking about legislation about not even putting radios in cars anymore.
Oh, Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
you know, that to me, I used to drive snowmobile to work in blizzards to get to the radio station because you relied on radio. You know, it's just so much different now. You know, Frankie's always talking about how he wishes he could get back into full. I don't know. I don't even think about it much. Well, I still think about it,
The
but
automation and the programming and everything really destroyed everything.
It's fucked everything up because a guy like me who's very talented, who I know I could do it. I know I could be just like you, all you guys or whatever that done radio. I can hang, you know, but I don't get that chance. But 10 years ago yesterday, I was doing this.
It used to be really great that you'd be driving, you know, like cross country. And it was a great thing to pull into the next city because you'd sit there and twist the dial to see what there was there.
Yeah.
You know, now
and how far you could get before it would be gone.
Yeah, and now it's just you tune into Kiss FM in LA and you listen to it all the way to New York.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You know?
10
you know,
years
the guy who started the programming of the music, you know, doing all the demographics and programming everything, he actually started off programming for restaurants nightclubs like the Red Onion and places like that. Was John Taffer.
John Taffer,
the bar rescue guy.
Yeah, it's that bar rescue.
That's
guy.
right. That's right.
He used to put together boxes of records, and you would subscribe, and he would send them to you, and there was a whole list.
He's a creator of elevator music.
Yeah, starting at, if you guys open at 9 in, start playing this music at 9. And then during lunch, play this music. Then later in the afternoon, then in the evening, play this. And he's the one who started all that.
Huh.
Well, 10 years ago yesterday, I had the opportunity to work my first actual real broadcast and paid job in a television studio at Black Hills Fox in South Dakota, Rapid City, South Dakota. That little room that you see me in right now, that was the old Master Control studio that I was running by myself, and I loved every minute of it.
Are those some JBLs?
It might be. I don't really remember what they were. Oh, you mean right now?
No, the speakers, the reference monitors, are those JBLs?
They could be.
Just looking at your nice setup.
Yeah, I mean, I did the logs. I did the watch the screen. It was a Fox affiliate, so everything you heard was from Fox over the speakers from Los Angeles. We do live sports and we do all types of stuff, and it was the greatest job I ever had. And it lasted 3.5 years, and then everything fucked up. About the pandemic. This is before the pandemic. Change was upon everything, and it didn't include me in that change, or else I'd still probably be there. But I just was reflecting.
That wasn't the time you got busted for the embezzlement, right? Was this different?
Right. When I became a male whore and everything, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I thought there was something with some cash somewhere. But...
That's right. I was a male whore there, right?
Hey, dude. I had 2 #1 shows on 2 radio stations. I knew there was going to be a corporate cut that day. I was warned. I was also told I was on the safe list. I mean, my morning show, it was me and another guy. We knocked off the team that had been #1 for probably 15 years, and we knocked them off. So we had the #1 morning show. And then on one of our other stations, I did the afternoon classic and new rock show. And that show had been #1 for years in Arbitron and Nielsen. And she walked in my op. I have 2 offices that I shared because I was also a music director at one of the stations. And she just walked in, and I knew it right then that I was getting canned. And I basically had 15 minutes to clean out both of my offices and get out of there after 21 years. So that's how bad the business changed. And then the funny part was they had to they realized that their contract they hadn't obligated their contract for high school hockey. Well, I was a high school hockey play-by-play guy. So they had to ask me to come back and do some hockey games to finish out their contract. So of course I subcontracted it out, but the price jacked way up.
That's gonna cost more money.
Cutthroat. Yeah, it's sad. I mean, how can you have 2 #1 shows? You're getting paid peanuts anyway. You make all your money in radio going live and doing remotes. Then the pay is very good. But doing the studio work, it used to be one of the funnest jobs I had for years. I met some really cool people. I did a lot of things that you'd only dream about. And then the last couple of years, it got to the point where it's like, besides after my 3-hour live morning show, the rest of my day, voice tracking the rock show, programming music, I absolutely hated it. Just corporate bullshit. The best GM I ever had left early because he saw the writing on the wall. It just went to, my God, the people there now have been there forever. There's like 2 guys that are live on 5 stations that are full time. When my guy that I was partnered up with at the one station goes on vacation, you can always tell because people call me up and say, "Hey, you're back on the radio again." They're playing replays of my show like 6 years ago because they're too cheap to hire a part-timer. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? They got 5 radio stations. 2 live guys full time. That's it.
Wow.
And see, that's what I like about
It ain't
doing
even
show.
worth talking about getting back into anymore.
Well, that's what I like about being able to be independent. You know, I didn't really think that I'd ever be into the podcast game at all because I thought, well, you need a studio, you need this, you need that, you need whatever, and really, you only just need ambition, imagination, and just the willpower to believe in yourself and to believe that you can actually process a show or create a show that people want to watch. Now, not every episode is wonderful that we do. I mean, there's been some moments where it gets delayed, but I think when we move to StreamYard, I think that'll be a little bit more. It'll make things a little bit more exciting. I hope, so it's not so we're not so much, we don't have so much downfall because I feel like we've come so far, and I'm excited about the future of this. To be done with season 3 at the end of November, and then to come back around January 6th anyway. And I think that'll be a good way to start the road to my big trip to Washington, because I think what I want to do when I do get there is Lance and I are going to have to do something special when that time comes, because I'm coming to see Lance. Going to spend some time with him.
And that'll be a whole show right there.
Oh, absolutely. But that, probably around.
Oh, I was gonna.
But I'm looking forward.
I was gonna ask you, Lance, where are you out there? What city?
Seattle.
We're gonna be there in May for like one night.
Is it the same week that I'm going there?
Might have to try to get a
one night only in Seattle. Come see him live.
Yeah.
Well, what day are you?
Well, we're jumping on a ship.
Oh, okay.
We're jumping on a ship.
Oh, I thought you were at a strip bar, one night only. Yeah.
No.
With the chip and dip.
No, we always fly into Seattle, and then we spend the night in Seattle, and we take off the next day. But we're going to be up there in May.
Sam is Chip and Anthony's.
Okay. Well, keep me posted.
Well, we'll come away.
Absolutely. It'd be
sail away.
To meet you.
Well, that's just the thing. I mean, depending on what day it is that you're going, because I plan on going mid-May, like after Mother's Day.
Motherfucker.
It'd be like after Mother's Day. Is probably what I'm thinking. I'm taking 2 weeks off.
Honey, when are we going to be in Alaska?
So that's
the Alaskan cruise. See, I'd eat my way through these cruises. It's bad.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
You're
I'm gonna get me a boat, and I'm gonna stash it up in Ketchikan, and I'm gonna spend a month and a half up there every middle of September till the end of October, and just go fish and crab and do all that fun shit, and then come back home for a month for deer hunting and Christmas.
There you go.
Just don't get crabs while you're
I love it. Love it. We're going halibut fishing this time. But we're on a 17-story ship with a go-kart track on the top and a water park that'll blow your mind. Frankie, it's better than the casino. I'm not shitting you. It's unreal. You could eat at a different restaurant 3 meals a day every day for a week and not hit all the places in there.
I had kind of a crazy...
And if you go at the right time, September or May when there's school, there's not a bunch of kids on there. It's awesome.
I was on the good ship Lollipop once.
Wow, you are a lollipop. Anyway,
all right.
I had an idea that I
was that sailing to Epstein's Island. Was that
all the lollipops you want to suck? I guess
absolutely,
right? Or lick or whatever.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker!
I had an idea that maybe it sounds a little weird, but I think it could work if the casino was willing to do it. I brought it up to my general manager, to Verdell, who's been on the show before. I said, with all this stuff that you're planning for 2025, why don't you try to do something that has probably never been done in an actual casino, or especially since, we don't have a whole lot of entertainment that comes to our casino because of how they do things. I said, what we could do is you could empty out, there's a lot of empty rooms that we have over there that they're not being used. Empty out a room that is appropriate size and turn that into the first ever internet-based radio station for the casino. I could be the station manager. I could do all the preparing and everything. I could do all the commercials, all the promos, everything. Make it user-friendly. take requests, tell people about the specials, the weather, everything that's coming up, what's
So
going down.
would it be casino radio or the band's radio?
No, it would be the casino only radio. That way you don't have to worry about getting an
Yeah.
antenna and everything like that. I think it'd be a good
Right.
idea. It doesn't cost much to buy equipment, and then I wouldn't have to be a security guard no more. Then I got my job, my dream job of being working at a radio station. Even if it's at a freaking casino, I'd still do it.
You can buy a low power receiver transmitter for about $200 at Walmart. We
Yeah.
have one at the racetrack.
Yeah, but you
Give me
have
1
to
minute. I'll be right back, boys.
There's rules for low power FM broadcasting. You'll have to look up and see if it's something you can do where you're at. If you're just going for inside the casino, they could just do their own internal system, kind of like closed circuit. So you wouldn't actually be going out over any airwaves. You would just be going out over the building.
Yeah, but I believe well, what I'm saying is just doing like an internet only station. That way you don't need to worry about low power, high power, whatever. Just run it, the connections to the speakers of the entire building, and then do it like that. It's just casino only. But you could still access it like if I was the station manager, I could remotely access it from wherever I'm at if if something was going down or whatever. But it's just because we were at a radio station at my friend's house in South Dakota, Rapid Fire Radio, and that was internet only, and we had listeners, we had a lot of people, and it had nothing to do with the towers or nothing. Didn't need no licenses or nothing.
Then maybe you could stream a show from there, have security, a little secret video, and we could catch shenanigans going on at the casino, and then we could talk about it.
Sure.
It's like, did you see that guy?
that guy right there, look, he's counting cards.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Talk about really taking your job to the next level. We could all help out.
Absolutely.
You just walk around silently. We'll be your eyes.
Well, that'd be all right.
Then you could be the security guard radio host.
Yeah, I don't want to be a security guard no more. I'd rather just be the radio guy. If that would be a great. Hey, but that'd be a great. It's a good idea that you have. But I'm saying, like, the way that there were, because I don't think they would allow me to do that.
Probably not. But
I'd probably get fired.
You got to figure out a way around that because these guys do it. It's sad that reality TV is really not reality TV, but
come on.
Well, we're waiting for Robbie. Oh, maybe that's him right there. Mary there. Okay, that's probably him. This should be exciting. How many of you guys are Robbie V fans? How many of you guys are Robbie V? I believe this is.
Hey, like I said, if I get off ignorantly,
I'll
say goodbye to everybody like that, and I'm gone because I ain't missing the beginning.
That's fine. Hey, what's up, Robbie? How you doing,
John?
sir? How's it going there, sir?
How's it going, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello there.
Welcome to Renegade Radio. I've interviewed you before, but never on a podcast form like this, with lots of people around.
Cool.
So we're excited to have you. I let everybody listen to your song, by the way, after you sent it to me, just to give them kind of an idea of that you might talk about it, and might be promoting it on the show tonight. So. But welcome to Renegade Radio. I'm going to let everybody kind of introduce themselves since we haven't done that in a while, just so you kind of know who you're talking to. You know me already, so I'm going to hand it over to John Roberts. It says lower on his deal, but it's really his name, John Roberts. Say hi to Robbie there, John.
Hi, John. Nice to meet you, man. I'm John. I live up here in the tundra. Northwest Minnesota, right on the North Dakota-Minnesota border, less than an hour from Canada, not far from Frankie here, and been a big music fan forever. Back when my mom and dad met, it was in your dad's era. I've been a radio guy for over 4 decades, so I know a lot of the stuff, and welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Lance Warlock, go right ahead.
Hey, I just want to say the same as far as thanking you. This will be kind of a fun trip, I'm sure, down maybe some memory lane from you. I grew up as a musician, mostly playing drums. I currently do a lot of film composing and doing a lot of music for licensing companies and stuff like that. So it's like one of those where you're born into it and then it just sticks with you. And it's always good to see when people keep that thing that we call music just alive and doing what they do. So thank you so much again and welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Bunch of North Dakotans. My dad has his family in Raleigh, North Dakota. So not too far away from where you're talking about.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
That off of River Falls.
Do you ever get up there?
We were supposed to be well, you can continue with the introductions if you want.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's do that first. Relax, guys.
Sorry.
You got changed, John Roberts. What about us?
Sorry, man.
All
I
right,
forgot. I got people that are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, we'll let DJ Ken go next. He's actually from Las Vegas, and he's the nephew to Wolfman Jack. Just so you know.
Hey, Robbie, how you doing?
DJ Ken.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And,
I have played your dad's music for many years.
Yes, so have I.
Nice. Thank you for doing that, keeping the music alive, keeping the rock and roll alive.
That's right. That's right.
Oh,
We got another rock and roller over here from South Dakota, originally Antique Man. Say hello.
Hi, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for the invite. So did you say South Dakota or North Dakota?
South Dakota.
Well, I grew up in South Dakota. Was an adult in Fargo, North Dakota. Had a band that made the South Dakota Rock Hall of Fame, and I now live north of Dallas, Texas. But you know where Slayton, Minnesota is?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a few songs on a radio station there. Later, I'll get you the DJ's name. Good outfit. He'll like your new song.
Absolutely.
It's a hard thing to push music these days, you know.
Yeah, try being 72 pushing.
It's a riddle to get on, to get on radio stations and all that anymore, but it happens.
Last but not least, we got Anthony. We call him Mad Dog because he's a former pro wrestler out of Pennsylvania. Go ahead.
How you doing? Glad to be on the show. I'm glad you're on the show. Let's say that. I'm Mad Dog from Pittsburgh. Go Steelers. We're playing tonight, and I got to go soon. But anyways, yeah, I'm 20-some years in the wrestling business. I got inducted into the Pennsylvania State Wrestling Hall of Fame this last November. Met a lot of cool people in my life. In my day job, I was a grave digger. I was involved in the burial business. So, I'm the last one to let you down, so to speak. Okay.
I like it.
And then last but certainly not least, we got Mama T, who just all of a sudden sparked up and showed up now.
Hi. Well, I've been watching. I was on earlier. I've been under a lot of stress lately, and I had to duck out for a while, rest my neck and my eyes a little bit. But I've been listening, and so I was dating little Bobby for 3 years, and he's got a bar and grill here in McIntosh, Minnesota, and he was about to receive the world's largest Bobby V collection. I had emailed you and invited you to it, actually, but I think it might have went to some kind of manager or something like that. Maybe you didn't get it.
I remember that I was interested in doing that, and then I think we lost communication somewhere along the way. But it was up north of Detroit Lakes, correct? Kind of by.
It's McIntosh. It's halfway between Grand Forks and Bemidji.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember sent me pictures of the silver records and things like that. I was all over that.
Yeah, I did, and he ended up not being able to buy the collection, finish buying the collection because he passed away at the end of July. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but his album's still #1 in Minnesota on What's Music Report as of this morning.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen with the collection?
I don't know if the kids are going to sell it or if I know the rest of the collection. The rest of the collection, I think, it went to an antique shop over in Erskine.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, there was some interesting stuff in that collection. I'd love to try and get a hold of that.
Well, I can
On
talk
up.
to his daughter and see if there's
Come on
anything
up.
left.
Sure.
Yeah, 4 of us live within an hour of there. What?
Yeah. Well, we are excited to have you on. As you can tell, when I made the announcement that you were going to come on the show, everybody got excited about it because your family has a legacy. Whether you're from North Dakota, California, Minnesota, whatever, you
Or
have
Pittsburgh.
Roots, you have roots from here.
There's a volume sign on the keyboard in the top section, the very small. There's like a sound and volume
You
thing.
just come do it. I got my technician over here.
Oh, okay. That's all
Is her
right.
name Mary?
Yeah, must be the wife, huh?
It is my wife.
Yeah.
I can
she's a
tell
lot
you're
smarter
listening intently so she don't backhand you.
She's a lot smarter than me.
Take that button.
We've got a Laura and a Mary on here.
Yeah, that's
Is that right? Okay.
Well,
There,
anyway,
now I'm in the game.
anyway, we're excited to have you on because like I say, whether you're from California, North Dakota, Minnesota, it doesn't really matter. You got roots. These are your roots. We're part of your roots. Your family's roots, and you of course have you've been. The last time I heard you were in Thief River, but you got rained out and you had to go play, or you did a little show at the line on 59 for a little bit. Here a few months ago.
We did our best to wait it out, but it never stopped raining. So I grabbed my little acoustic, went across the street, and what's the diner across the street?
It's called the line on 59.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
They had a nice crowd in there, and so I did a set with just my little warm-up guitar that I keep backstage.
Yeah, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, some of you probably don't know, but during the summertime they sponsor. I think it's either through Keys on Music and the city of Thief River. They sponsor a music in the park type of deal, and this year Robbie was actually on the list for a show, and his show got rained out. So.
Yeah,
I
you're
follow
on
that
our
on
list,
social
pal.
media because sometimes I get up there.
So we're gonna do kind of like what we did with Jay's interview. We're gonna do kind of a round robin, So just when I pick you, kind of ask some questions, or you can ask 1 or 2 questions, and then we'll just kind of go to the other one or to the next person. And then we're gonna start this time here with Antique Man.
Well, when was the time when you first realized that your dad was a popular person? How old were you when you were kind of getting that message?
So I grew up in West LA. I grew up in Bel Air,
Uh-huh.
and I remember waking up one morning and they had the buses, the buses that would go to the celebrities' homes.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And I was at the bottom of the driveway in my big wheel, and it stopped, and they asked if I'd go get my dad. And so I did. My dad would be up all night rocking and rolling in the studio and sleep in. So I went, grabbed him out of bed, came to the door, and he was, it's like, Dad, these people want to meet you. And he's like, no, you don't do that. But I didn't get it, But he comes to the door, his hair going every direction.
That's funny.
You got another question there?
Not right up there.
Okay.
I was a pretty young kid, pretty young. My father was a serious business person. I mean, he was a recording artist first, performer second, probably. And he would go to the studio like he was going to the office. He was in the studio either writing or recording all the time. He took it very seriously. If somebody told me my dad was a lawyer or an accountant, it would have seemed about the same, because he was very disciplined with his trade.
Well, when was your first stage debut?
That's a tough one. Somebody asked me the other day that question. I was on a radio station in Owatonna, Minnesota.
Oh, sure.
And they I think, the Surf Ballroom is some of the earliest shows I remember. My dad would do those Buddy Holly tribute shows, and he would bring me on stage, and I'd have my guitar and I'd plug it in, and I'd perform a couple songs with him. And I toured with him a lot as a kid. I mean, like I remember being in Vegas with him for a couple months in the summertime, and going on stage and things like that. Really much younger than I probably should have, but
Oh, fun.
Absolutely. The next one we'll let ask is Mama T.
Oh, I'm up already.
No, just random picking.
What do you think the trick is to staying in the music industry as long as you have?
well, I don't know if there's a definitive answer to that. I hold it pretty loosely. I'm always the guy that says when my purpose here is done, I'm fine, walking away, not doing it anymore. I'm not the guy that kind of fights for opportunities or fights for position, on stage or in shows or with anything. I'm not a real fighter in the business. I love it, and I do it with all my heart. And this time of year, when you look at the calendar and you go, yeah, I don't have too many shows coming up. It seems like I always go, is this going to be my last year? And then, agents call me and managers call me. And next thing you know, I'm off to the next race, doing the next thing. And I get as busy as I ever was, right? So, but I'm always welcome. Like, if this is it, then this is it. I've been really blessed and really lucky, and I hold the whole thing, with a lot of gratitude, and I hold it pretty loosely,
Sure.
Well, he had shared a song of yours last. So I thought the song was talking about bacon at first.
That is our inside joke.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, good.
Yeah.
I was like, is that bacon? So
Yeah.
how much do you how many albums do you have albums out? Like, can you tell me about them? The songs you've got out?
So that's probably the answer to your first question. Where the one thing I've done in the business is I continue through the years to always put out records. So that's, to me, that's my only purpose in the business, is to be a recording artist. So I'll go and do shows, and I'd make sure I represent my dad on his stuff when I do it. But at the end of the day, every year I'm putting out singles. Every other year I'm putting out albums, and I'm constantly putting out material. I don't go and do the tribute band thing. I don't go and do the cover band thing, though I'll do anything I want in my show because I'm a huge fan of music. I'm always pushing my own brand. I'm always pushing my own records and my singles, and I've never not done that. That's really my only purpose in this business. That's what I do the best, I think. And so long as I honor myself and do that, then I seem to stay in the game every year and have a purpose. So with that in mind, I probably put out, I don't know, like quite a few records. I don't know, not 10 maybe, somewhere in there.
Thank you.
Lots of music anyway.
For being on the show with you too, by the way. Thanks for being on with us.
Thank you.
I'll ask the next question, I guess. Basically, the last time I saw you was about a little over 5 years ago, if you remember, in Stephen, Minnesota, when
Yeah.
Ralph put on what I didn't realize that Ralph was even in charge of all that at the time. With the whole acts of the community and stuff, or doing all these different events that he had planned. Well, he recently passed away, a few years or a couple years ago. Did you ever stay in contact with him after that event, or I mean, were you guys pretty close?
We were friends before I even played there. Just kind of online and stuff. We'd have conversations. He was obviously a music fan. He'd come to my shows, like, I play the Red Willow Ballroom in North Dakota, and I play, Devil's Lake, car show, and he would come out to the shows, and we'd stay in touch, and we were good friends. He was a great guy.
Oh, that's good.
It's such a shame when he passed.
Yeah, I was surprised because he loved one thing about Steven or about him is that he really enjoyed Ralph really enjoyed being on the radio. You know, I'm sure he told you that. I'm sure he told you all his experiences from doing his show at the college when they opened up volunteering. Because I did that too. And I mean, did you ever do any radio at all, or have any experience in the broadcasting game at all? Just by just being a performer and just being, hey, you know, I like to try and do like a little radio show or something in your area or something.
Have I ever aspired to do radio?
Well, did you ever get a chance? You know, like some musicians, you know, they're like, well, let's host a show. You know, let's just, you know, I have a name out there. Let's just host a show and see what happens. You know, did you ever try that at all?
Yeah, I mean, I have friends like you and other entertainment people in the business that do it and do a great job at it. And I don't think that everybody can do it. You know, I think it's one of those things that you I mean, I believe in radio, I believe in podcasts. I mean, I believe in the connection where people you kind of need that for especially for the music business. You got to have all those connections to make it sincere. So you need people like yourselves to get your message across and to show up in the business. Sure. But I've never thought about doing it myself. I don't think I have. It looks, you know, like I've done so many interviews and I watch people shuffling things and doing stuff. It looks like something that I don't think I'd be very good at it. I think it takes a certain kind of person to do it. And I don't think I'm that guy, but I love doing, you know, being on.
I feel your pain.
To me, it looks stressful. You know, it looks like a lot of work.
It's always stressful if people don't show up, you know, but everybody shows up all the time. So, all right, next I'll let DJ Ken. And one thing about Ken is, like I mentioned before, he's the nephew to Wolfman Jack, and so he's out in Las Vegas, and he's a musician. Well, he loves music. Ken does. And
oh yeah.
Go ahead, ask.
You're the nephew to Wolfman Jack. Did I get that right? You're Wolfman Jack's nephew. Wow. Okay. So
by marriage.
Yeah. So he was a great guy. Him and my dad were good friends, and I was on the last show that he did. It was my dad, I believe it was Tommy Rowe, and maybe the Four Tops, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
And he went home after that show and he passed away. But I remember, you know, growing up from my dad doing the Hollywood Squares, the game show, you know, and Wolfman would be one of the people on the show with my dad. Or I just have so many paths crossing over the years with them because of my dad. You know, they did so much work together. But
well, that's very cool. That's great to hear. Well, my question for you, taking into consideration that your dad got famous by jumping in at the last minute to save a show, when was the strangest, just off the wall, pull it out of your back pocket, where you had to step up and save a show that you hadn't planned on doing?
I don't think I've ever been in a position to, I mean, geez, that's such a huge question, because I look at the day the music died, and for your listeners, you know, that's the day, February 3rd, 1959, when Buddy Holly's plane crashed and taking the life of Buddy Holly. The Big Bopper, of course, J.P. Richardson and Richie Valens and Richard and Peterson, the pilot, of course. Yeah. So my father filled in that night. He was 15 years old. He answered basically a call on the radio and went down and filled in. And I think it's such a huge part of rock and roll history that it's even hard to even for me to imagine anything that would even compare to that. But I'm the guy where the show must go on. I mean, we were talking about Thief River Falls when it rained, and it's like there was an audience that had gathered at the diner. I had no problem grabbing my guitar and going over there and taking requests and doing my best I could do. You know, I mean, people showed up. I drove a long way to get there, so I'm always the fighting spirit as far as, you know, keeping the train on the track. But I've had some, like, I was in England one time on tour on my own, and I got a call from Jerry Allison. So I had one day off, and my mom called me, And she said, J.I. Allison from the Crickets, who, one of the co-writers of Peggy Sue and That'll Be the Day and all that with Buddy Holly. He was trying to get a hold of you. And so she gave him my number, and he said, hey, I know you're on tour over here. We're playing Royal Albert Hall. And it's a sold out show. Nancy Griffith is on the bill. It's the Crickets with Sonny Curtis and Albert Lee and, the whole crew. Would you come down and do the show with us? It's like, this is my morning. And it's like, okay, well, tonight, my one day off tonight. And so, yeah, I found my way to Royal Albert Hall, and they had a whole thing they wanted me to do, and I did it. And I woke up that morning not knowing I was doing any of that day. And so I have a few examples of things that are like spontaneous, I guess.
Well, it's very cool.
How freaking cool is that, though?
It was wild. I mean, it was, and they had worked with my dad, Bobby V Meets the Crickets and things like that, and the Crickets and their buddies, and so we're on in like 20 minutes, and Sonny Curtis is writing out the words of the songs for me.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Right on.
Well, we'll take it to Lance Warlock next.
That's almost terrifying in and of itself, right there.
like you just walk on, plug into an amp, it's like, oh, this thing sounds good.
Yeah.
Sold out crowd.
It's obvious to me, when stories
Hope
are
I don't
shared like
suck.
that. Yes, and the way that musicians are wired, because thankfully you weren't stopped by some sort of the interferes or whatnot. You just said that this is kind of what I do, and unfortunately, sometimes that's what we all deal with. Growing up in around having a family member that had notoriety, do you remember, since you fell into the same musical world that your dad was in, do you remember an aha moment? I don't know. Obviously, certain parents kind of want to push what they're in. I'd love Junior to be a doctor like me. And some say, hey, whatever. But was there an aha moment? Because I have to assume your dad was in and around the list of musicians for maybe who you saw play and maybe watched in a jam room or a studio could be a list in and among itself too.
Yeah, so when I was a kid and growing up, I didn't really think I was very good at it. I didn't think I had natural talent. I didn't think that I was the guy to go into the business. Everybody's better than me. And so it just didn't make a lot of sense for me to make a career out of it. And as I got older, what I realized is that my bar that I was holding myself to was, going on the road and watching Bo Diddley go on stage and watching Chuck Berry go on stage. And I'm learning who these people are. And it's like, these guys are fantastic. Little Richard's amazing, and Albert Lee, he's incredible. James Burton, wow, he can really pick, and I'm like, this is the bar that I was holding myself to as a kid. And it's like, I just don't think I'm really good at this. These guys are so amazing. And, it's true. Like, I wasn't the guy that played in the garage band. I was the guy that was in this environment with these incredible people. And so I didn't really feel like I measured up to any of these people, and I didn't feel like I could have a career. But I remember being on the road in England in my 20s and thinking, what am I going to do with my life? And I'm waking up to get on the bus to go to another show, and it's like, I realized I'd been gone for probably a month and a half, from home. It's like, this is what I'm doing. This is it. Whether you like it or not, this is your career. This is what you are doing every day. And so I've been lucky enough that I just keep on doing it. I don't change much. I try to, I work hard to be good at what I do. I train. I take it very seriously. I practice a lot. I write a lot. I honor my ability, and I do the best I can do. But I sincerely, if you told me when I was a kid this is what I would get to do for a living, I would have never believed it.
Have you had to has there been anything since, obviously you have seen the change. We've all seen the change in the world, but we've seen the way that music is now heard and the way that people can access it. So as far as when you haven't changed much, do you still have the support of the management or labels and whatnot who will still get the music to where it needs to go? Or are you starting to decide, you know what, nowadays I can grab this ball and take it myself and kind of cut them out? Where's that sitting?
Well, when I was younger, I was in Nashville, and the Crickets, once again, it just seems like in every turn of my life, the Crickets have been there, and my dad as well. They're like family. And the Crickets invited me to play on an album. It was me and Albert Lee and a handful of artists, Willie Jennings, people like that, and Eric Clapton was on it. And so I played guitar on it, and the producer was Greg Ladani, who was kind of a talent scout for Sony Records. He had his own production company, which was a subsidiary of the label. And so I went to this session. My dad was on that album as well. And he said, Rob, you should come and play guitar. And Jay, I want you to do this. And sure. So I showed up, and in that session, the producer pulled me aside and said, do you write songs? What do you do? Can you come to LA and play some songs for me at the studio? So I did. I went out there after that session, and next thing you know, we're like cranking out songs. And he signed me to three deals and consecutive deals with the label. And I started putting songs out on radio through Clear Channel and all sorts of stuff. And but since that point, I always had label support. My last record was Paramore, which is a subsidiary. And the one before that, I didn't go through the label, but I went through their marketing department, and I used their marketing department to put it out. And which is same as any artist would do. And I've done, deals to fund all that stuff. So that is kind of what it is. Like, I've always had some kind of label support through my entire life, helping me put out records. And the new ones coming out, and the label called me and said, can we put it out? And so I just lucky that,
Sure.
that the label continually helps me do my goals. And so would I ever do it on my own and put it out? I mean, I could, that was the one of the records. I don't remember which one it was, but I did it. I didn't go with the label, but I went with their marketing department. And it just means that you have to come up with a lot of funding because you got to act as your own label. And I thought that was great. It was kind of expensive, but
Sure.
I thought it was great. I liked the experience of it. I thought they probably did the best job out of all of them, but it was just extremely expensive. Labels today are basically they're funding for marketing.
Correct.
So
yeah.
So if you don't, what I mean, they're not going to put you on tour with Chris Isaac. They're not going to do any of that stuff. They just
Right.
they're more or less funding for marketing.
I'll let
And
them out when I'm done here. They have their collars on.
so answer the question. I've been lucky. I've always had the
Yeah.
labels behind me.
That's
And
wonderful.
we'll let John Roberts ask a question.
You're going to make me go last?
Absolutely.
Oh, and because I got to go watch the Steelers play.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, they
That's your
already started.
That's your penalty.
Was
What's the Steelers record
your
right now?
first solo
We are
album?
6-2.
Was
6-2. Yeah, so
so,
they're doing a little bit. Well, they're probably they're one more than our Vikings, right? So
So,
and with the
there you
Vikings
go, right
are,
there.
yeah, they're doing better than the Vikings.
We've lost two. Yeah.
Lost two.
Was your first solo album Bop? Because there was the V's.
Yep.
And then it was you. So who was in the V's? And then was Bop when you decided to go off on your own? Or how did that work?
Yeah, that's a good one. You're the first person to ever ask me that question. So I was on the road with Wayne Carson doing a West Coast tour. And Wayne Carson, he's a songwriter. He wrote the letter for the Box Tops, and You're Always on My Mind for Willie Nelson and for Elvis, and So Deep for
sure.
BJ Thomas. I mean, he's written a million songs. But so we were on tour, and he said, hey, you want to come down to Nashville after the tour and write music with me? And I said, sure, I'd love to. So next thing you know, I went to Nashville. I'm living with him in his house, and he's hooking me up with his publishing company, and we're writing songs daily. And what came out of that was a record, an unfinished record called the Nashville Sessions. And at that point, I was on tour with the V's, and the V's was myself and a couple of brothers, two brothers. And we started out as kids together, touring colleges, touring all around the country. The three of us became the backup band for my dad, which in return became the backup band for all the legendary artists, because my dad would do huge package shows with people like Wolfman Jack, and they would need a band to back the whole show. Yeah. So we'd end up being those guys. We just do tour after tour, and then I'd get off the road doing those tours, and then Dick Clark would do the American Bandstand tours, good old rock and roll shows, and we'd be backup band for that. And we always opened the show as the V's doing our own records, and we put some out. And then basically that went on and on and on. We had our own little career going on. And then with that Nashville Sessions, the band kind of stalled out. And it was such a huge body of work. I mean, I wrote so many songs with Wayne, I still haven't put them all out. Every one of my records has a Wayne Carson song on it because I wrote so much with him. And so I took the record after the band kind of, after I left the V's. I was signed a record company at that point on my own. They were needing me to do promotional stuff. I was basically had two careers going. I had my Robbie V putting out records for the record label, and then I had the V's, which was touring legendary artists, all the big tours. I mean, we were playing with Paul McCartney, everybody. And wow. So what happened was I ended up, I don't know exactly how it came about, but in my own way, I made a choice to leave all that behind and go on forward with just my own career and not do all the legendary work anymore. Though I was called to England a couple of times to tour, like with Freddie Cannon, and do some of their big tours as Robbie V. I continued to work on a lot of those shows, but just not as the V's and not with my dad anymore. And so I carried forward doing my own thing, and I've always done my own thing after that. But so the V's thing, we never did get back together. We never did carry that on again. But that record was Bob. It was a body of work that I recorded in Nashville, and I felt like it needed to come out. And so I finished the record on my own and put it out as Bop. So I think about 80% of the record is.
Was that your first album now?
I think it was. Yeah. So it was my first album on my own. Yep.
Right.
Because we had quite a few records before that, but that was the first one as Robbie V.
Sure.
And then Liquid Love was the next one. But yeah, that was the one that kind of got me, got me on the road.
Sure. Right on.
And then we'll let Mad Dog ask a question.
Yeah, it figures. Yeah, the guy took too many cheer shots to the head. And I'm not really a music guy, but I want to ask you one question. Being that your father was famous, and you watching a lot of famous artists, where did you base your style from? From your father, or somebody you watched along the way with your father?
That's a really good question. I always, growing up, I always thought my dad was a rockabilly artist. I get the whole pop 60s thing, and I get the whole pop rock and roll thing, but his core was kind of musically was rockabilly. So a lot of my friends were listening. Rubber Ball. I mean, Rubber Ball, it was a song that I was talking about the other night. That's a song that I don't think he would have had the hits that he had if he wouldn't have had Rubber Ball, because Rubber Ball gave him kind of a safe zone in people's houses so they could play the records. Yeah. The parents wouldn't get mad. And there was a time period in music where in New York City, you had to rent radios, on the street. You'd go down to a kiosk and rent radios for 35 cents, and you get 35 cents an hour, and you had to pay the whole thing, it was 3 hours, you no less. So you'd rent a radio because a lot of people weren't allowed to have rock and roll in their household. And it was enough time to listen to the Ellen Freed show on the radio and all that kind of stuff. So, Rubber Ball was a safe song that allowed all the other hits to come along because it made my dad likable to generations. And so he got lucky with that one. But I looked at his stuff as being, he comes out of the Buddy Holly Crickets world, the rockabilly Gene Vincent, the Eddie Cochran. And I loved all that stuff. And he turned me on to his record collection. I listened to it I was a guy that when the Stray Cats came out, I'm like, well, gosh, this sounds like Eddie Cochran. And then I'm listening to Eddie Cochran records, and you know, or this is a Fats Domino, or this is, you know, Little Richard or Chuck Berry, or this is, you know, Carl Perkins, you know, this is Scotty Moore, Elvis's guitar player. But I started going back, and then from there I went to Charlie Christian, and I went back through the lineage, you know, Barney Kessel, and I wanted to know who everybody was. I wanted to know how it was all put together, and that's how my dad was too. He just knew a lot about music. Hank Williams, for example, that's probably the core of my dad, of his music. And so and of course Hank Williams, then there's Buddy Holly, that, you know, all that. But it was the kind of thing where I was the guy that wanted to take the car apart and then put it back together again, you know. They wanted to take the motor apart and put it back together. That's how I felt.
You have spare parts with it.
Well, that's how I felt about music, though. It's like I really wanted to take it apart, dissect it, and know it all, and know everything about music. I just became a historian.
Very cool.
Well, we want to say thank you for being a part of the show. I got one last question for you, but just so you're aware, and I let everybody else know earlier, but since you made your appearance on the show tonight, you are officially our 60th guest of 2024. So we've had 59 other guests, but you're the 60th. So how apropos.
I should I make some confetti?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I have one last question for you. It's pretty much a simple question. Now, with your new album,
I'll take that.
With your new album coming out here at the end of November, what makes this one different from the others? I mean, is there a certain song in there that you like, or is there something that's magical that makes this like the next best Robbie V album? Then why should people listen to it?
Well, so every record I do, there's kind of a reason behind it. Like one was Alzheimer's. I wanted to create a record that could raise money and awareness for them. Yeah, but this one was so a friend of mine, Beej Cheney from the Suburbs, who was a Minneapolis band over the years, their creative force singer songwriter guy, Beej Cheney, we've been friends since I was a kid, and he's kind of been in and out of my life, and he's inspired me, and we've just been great friends. And
is that the guy that looks like is that the guy that looks like Iggy Pop on the picture that you
Yes, it is the guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I called him. Yeah, he does. He looks just like him. But I called him in January and said, "What are you doing?" And he says, "I'm not doing music anymore." And I said, "Well, that's a shame. You know, you're great." So I said, "Why don't we write every Tuesday night and until we have a couple singles or a record or something, just see how it goes." And so we did. We stuck to a schedule every Tuesday night. We wrote songs and we just kept it going. And now we have a record and we're going to put it out. And I'm kind of reintroducing him to the record business because he's been away for so long, and trying to relaunch him a little bit into the scene. And so that's important to me. You know, he's one of my heroes, and I want to show him off to people that reintroduce him to my audience, you know, to his own audience, and introduce him to my audience. He's a talented guy. And so that's exciting for me, and that's why I did the record, basically.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, we appreciate you. For anybody that wants to know more about you and that doesn't know much after this interview, how can they learn more about you? Well,
you'll probably see me in like Bacon Bits commercials, because that first single is Bacon. Can we get licensing on that?
Absolutely. There's some cash for it.
Bacon strips, dog.
I might have to go redo those lines so it sounds more like bacon. All right. Yeah, RobbieV.net, RobbieV.com. I'm on social media. You know, I'm out there working, so my schedule's up there. Records coming out end of November, and there'll be a couple singles right off the bat that we'll be pushing. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you for being part of the show, Robbie. I really do appreciate it. I know everybody else appreciates it too. And
thanks, Robbie.
Have a good Halloween, and we'll see you guys next week for another great edition of Renegade Radio. I'm Frankie Sloss.
Thank you so much, you guys. Really appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Bye-bye, everybody.